You're watching Blunt Politics with Boston Brian.
What's up, guys? I'm Boston Brian. Welcome to Blunt Politics, the political podcast for normal people, by normal people, meant to sift through the bullshit of the mainstream media. Right off the bat, I think I should do what a lot of people, mainstream creators and lefty creators, have not done since the election, in which we got our absolute asses handed to us. Thank you, Cecilia. How are you? Appreciate that. 5 gifted. Thank you so much for that. I hope everybody is as pissed off, as aggravated, as astounded, and as ready to fight as I am. But before I do anything, and thank you, Patrick, so much. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, dude. I would advise you to please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Now is the most important time, more than ever, honestly, for us to build progressive, liberal, democratic creators, a big network of people to fight back on what is inevitably going to be a right-wing machine straight from the White House that we're going to have to fight against in the next upcoming year. So, but like I said, before any of that, I would just like to, and happy birthday, James. Before I get into anything, happy birthday, James. I hope you have a great birthday and many more. I really appreciate you being here and joining me on your birthday. That's very nice of you. I do appreciate it. Again, not the show that we thought we were going to have, not the show that I would like to have. This is going to be, and I know you've probably watched people that have daily episodes. You've probably already seen them go through their process of kind of processing this whole thing. This is my first show since the election, so bear with me if you've already been through a couple, not breakdowns or freakouts, but people letting out their emotions. This is going to be my chance to vent. My chance to tell you where I think I went wrong, where others went wrong, where the Democratic Party went wrong, to look at what we're up against in the future, to tell you what they're saying right now is going to happen. We'll also take a look at Zelensky sat down with Meet the Press and had his reaction to what is just a ridiculous idea from Donald Trump to end that conflict. Let's say hi to the chat, and then I'll get into it. How about that? How's everybody doing? Dumb question, I know. Let's just see here. Elizabeth, how are you? Andrea, how are you? Facebook user, how are you? Todd's, what's going on? Beth, Don C, what's going on, my brother? Roadkill, how are you? Lisa, Celery, Stargal, Jupiter Judy, BJ. Oh, thank you, Tobias. Look at you guys go. Are you guys shitting me right now? Let's fucking go. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And forgive me if I'm not obviously in the celebratory mood. I don't think that anybody should be, and I don't like this like life goes on bullshit, because for thousands of women and for thousands of people with, you know, Spanish sounding last names, or that might be a different color, or, you know, don't exactly have all their documents in place, life will not go on as we think. So as a white man, not only as a white man, but also in Massachusetts, you know, I sit here from the safety of my own, you know, my own being. Um, it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? So thank you, Tobias. I appreciate you contributing, but I just want to apologize first off. I think that's, again, what a lot of people on my side, creators, have failed to do to you guys, and that is just put the right hand up and say that we were wrong and that we missed, you know, a lot of what was in front of our faces, and a lot of what we should have noticed and what we didn't notice. You know, to a lot of the people that were like uber confident about this, that were reassuring you that everything was going to be okay. Um, you know, I think a lot of people have just kind of breezed past that fact, and really not addressed how they, you know, may have given you some false hope. You know what I mean? So I think it's helpful. Like I said, this is going to be a venting process. This is going to be my one show to get it all out, to air out the bullshit, and then we're going to continue to fight as hard as we've ever fought before. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's sometimes when you're venting and you're screaming and you're yelling, the shit that you're saying may not be helpful. You guys might not agree with what I'm going to say. You might totally hate what I'm going to say. But again, it's helpful to me to get it out, and it's helpful in the moment for the person to release what they have inside. And again, some of it may not make sense. Some of it may make sense to you. It's just my feelings. It's just my opinions. And I think I owe it to you guys to be upfront, honest, and blunt, as the title of the show would suggest I should be. So, you know, again, hi, Nancy. How are you? Hi, Stargale. Hi, Stretch. Butterflies are free. How are you? Benny Loco. I know you have been fighting all your adult life. I know. I understand. And the Democratic leadership has once again failed us. How you can spend $1 billion or raise $1 billion in a campaign and somehow lose that campaign. But again, the signs were in front of our faces, and I think we all kind of got wrapped up in the you know, the team aspect, the footballification of this whole thing, where, you know, and I'll explain that later, but I think we kind of got wrapped up in not seeing what the hell was going on in front of our faces, and we paid the price very severely for it. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. This is a map of, you know, where the country went in this election compared to 2020, right? And I know we're going to talk about, believe me, I'm going to, in my rant, I'll cover how the hell the Democrats managed to lose 16 million votes, why nobody is really addressing the Russian bomb threats, only in mainly Democratic areas. Well, that's the thing, Benny Loco. That's the fucking thing. Here, let's just get this out right in the beginning. Let's just get this out right in the beginning. I would absolutely agree. There was many things to suggest fishy things going on in this election, right? But unfortunately, our Democratic leadership and the governmental leadership is not doing anything to address that. So that does not give us the ability ourselves, unless we have the resources to go investigate what the hell went on ourselves and uncover exactly what the hell happened, which obviously I don't have the resources to do. So I'm dependent on the leadership, the DOJ, FBI, CIA, you know, our the DNC to tell us what the fuck happened, right? So we backed ourselves into a corner last election by defending the election process so much that now we literally need physical evidence that we can look at, that we can go at, or at least an investigation, something talked about. And not, that's not saying we can't look into it, but to say it outright, we kind of look like assholes, you know, if we don't have the proof to say so. Do you know what I mean? Like it just, and that's obviously not you specifically. I'm just saying if we backed ourselves kind of in a corner last election. I think you guys understand that. But I just wanted to apologize because, like I said, a lot of us missed what was in front of our faces. This is going to be the one place to get it out, and this map right here kind of tells the whole story. You know what I mean? So this is a map of where if it went red or blue, and as you can see, there's a lot of red on that fucking map. Lots of fucking red on that map. So what is it? Hold on. Well, that's the thing, Elizabeth. I just, if they are and they're not letting the American people know, I think that is just a total miss. I don't know. I feel like the American people should know at least that something's going on, right? So we're in the loop at least, and we know that we're not. Understand, like, how do you plan to go ahead if there's something going on secretly in the background that could change the entire aspect of how this country is run in the future of this country? You know what I mean? It's crazy to me that it's just kind of just been brushed to the side. Nobody said anything about it. What is it? We do a better job next election. I understand, Stephen, but guess what? A lot of women aren't going to survive to next election to vote, right? A lot of people that came into this country to help us put food on the table are not going to be in this country to benefit from whatever happens in the next election. Like, the people that are going to be put in place are going to be the most radical of radical people. I mean, there are no more of these 2016 type people in the government or in Trump's administration that are going to be able to, that used to say, okay, we can't do this, or you can't do that. No, you can't do this. Those people, believe me, are going to be, they're going to be replaced with sycophants of Donald Trump. So there's going to be a lot of policies that are going to hurt a lot of people, which means a lot of people are not going to be around, unfortunately, for the next election. I can tell you that much. But there's so much to go through. There really is. But this is another one that I wanted to share. I mean, just to give you an idea of where they want to take this. Here is Donald Trump Jr. DJT will unspurned as soon as the endless U.S. taxpayer dollars go away. Basically, what he's saying is, when Zelensky reacted to Donald Trump's ridiculous peace plan, now they're just threatening to take away everything. Zelensky reportedly spurned Donald Trump's peace offer. He isn't ready to make a deal. That's fine. America has other things to do. Deprioritize Ukraine and let Europe handle it from here. Right? So that's just another way in which. Oh, sorry. Let me get this off the screen. I do apologize. What's up, Becky? How are you? I mean, Benny, look, I'm with you. Honest to God, if something took place, we need to know so that we can take the appropriate actions. You know what I mean? I think that's the way that it should be handled. Obviously, it was reported, so it's not a secret that there was, Russian bomb threats on voting stations in Democratic areas, right? That's not a secret. So why is nobody addressing it? Why did Joe Biden come out and give a fucking 5-minute speech with a smile on his face talking about fucking unity, and then when he left, shooting his fucking finger cannons off like he just won the lottery? You know what I mean? That's the shit that pisses me off. That's the fucking shit that pisses me off. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just see. I'll go down the list. I made just some notes, and like I said, let me get this off my chest. Let's do this. This will be our time. This will be our therapy session together. How about that? This would be our therapy session together. A lot of people in the chat have a lot of different theories, a lot of different ideas, a lot of different ways to move ahead, right? A lot of different attitudes. Let's all let's do it politely. Let's get your ideas out there. Let's not fight with each other, right? But let's see if we can help one another. And again, let's vent here, and we're going to have to keep fighting. I want to make that clear. I'm not going anywhere, right? I'm going to be here till they drag me out with my last breath fighting for you guys. And I do apologize that I failed you. Saw this coming. All right. it's my responsibility, I feel like, to get the word out. And there was no easier candidate to fight against. There was no more ammunition that I could have been handed to fight against Donald Trump and his shit, you know? Sorry. I just feel like I failed my sister, all the women in my family, the women in the chat here. Yeah. Sorry. I just it's scary to think what the fuck could happen. It really is. It's scary to fucking think what's possible in the next 4 years. But my apologies. I knew that was going to happen at some point. I didn't think it was going to be that early. But yeah, it was my duty, and obviously I didn't carry out that duty to the best of my abilities. And I promise to change that. That's about all I can say on that one. Really. But you know, again, I can't stand the life goes on or that whole bullshit. It's ridiculous to say. I feel like because like I said, life will not go on for some people because of these votes, because of this decision, because of the selection. So it's hard to think about that, and it's hard to think that like we didn't get the women vote. Like that whole Rovember thing was bullshit. That was horse shit. We didn't get, we lost votes in the Hispanic votes and in African American votes, and the whole thing was like from top to bottom. Now they get the Supreme Court. They got the Senate, most likely the House. I mean, it's it's crazy. It's crazy to think that people voted against their best interests. And I think we kind of got wrapped up, like I said, in the whole team aspect. I think we're sitting here talking in an echo chamber of people that already agree, right? So we're not really getting the word out to other people. We're just kind of sitting here talking to people that are like, oh yeah, I think the same thing. So we're never really moving the ball forward. We're just kind of sitting there dribbling at mid court, doing nothing, that type of thing. If you know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like. Everybody just kind of watches who they agree with and nobody else, and then we end up kicking people out that don't agree with us because they're assholes or some something or another, and then we end up just sitting here in an echo chamber talking to people that agree, thinking that we're getting the word out, and because everybody agrees, that the whole world agrees. You know what I mean? It just turns out that the signs that were right in front of our faces, like I have it written down here. What's that place in New Hampshire? It's got like Dixville, New Hampshire, right? Here's a great example. Dixville, New Hampshire. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. I think it's like one of the first towns or precincts or whatever the hell it is to put their votes in, right? There's 6 people in the entire fucking precinct, in the entire town. 6 people. In 2020, all 6 people voted for Joe Biden. All 6, right? Yes, correct. Dixville Notch. 2024, same 6 people, 3 voted for Kamala, 3 voted for Donald Trump, right? That's just a sign of how like ignorant we were, thinking that, oh, okay, we have this huge woman vote behind us. And I think even Kamala's campaign and Joe Biden's campaign thought the same thing. Like they were focused on other things because they thought they had this huge woman vote. They thought Rovember was going to push them across, which is why everybody was excited when Taylor fucking Swift and Beyonce came out, right? That didn't happen. That was a fallacy. But well, what's another one? Like even anecdotally, hey Dan, how are you? What do you got for me? You didn't fail. It's crushing and overwhelming, but we keep going. I understand why you're feeling though. You always try to talk your trolls in a respectful way. You try. I do. I appreciate you, Dan. I really do. It's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough to think that what could happen. It really is. It really is. And the fact that I kind of played a part in it, and now my nose is running on stream is not really that. That's not really a good thing. It's not really what I planned. So I do apologize. Anyway, so yeah, we've all had the moment this week where we kind of, either lost it or, sat quietly and thought what the fuck was going to be possible and how the hell did this happen moment. But again, thank you, Mark, so much, dude. I appreciate you. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Thank you, Mark. And now I'm going to sound like Don Jr. for the rest of the episode, sniffling and snorting and shit. No, I believe me. See, I understand. I understand the racist text messages. I got some shit that I'm going to show you here that was said immediately upon Donald Trump's win. Again, I'm sure you guys have heard by now where multiple multiple big figures on the right have said, "Yep, Project 2025 is the fucking plan." Right? Fooled you. Go fuck yourself, America. You know what I mean? Is basically what they've said so far. And we're going to have a lot of people on Twitter and a lot of people on social media are going to say, oh, we're going to have that I told you so moment. Well, guess what? Seeing dead women on the steps of churches and dead women on the steps of hospitals because their fucking doctors were too scared to perform surgeries because they didn't know if they were going to be locked up for 25 years in prison for doing said surgeries. I don't think seeing the stock market crash and seeing the economy crash and thousands of people lose their livelihoods. I don't think seeing entire families being uprooted, ripped out of their homes in America, placed on buses and shipped out of the country on camera. I don't fancy that being worth the "I told you so" in my opinion, right? I don't think that's worth it. I think I'd rather have things the other way around and not have to be able to tell you that I told you so. But obviously, things were completely mismanaged. Things went wrong. Not only were the polls out of focus, really, but so was the way that we were thinking about this whole thing. Like, anecdotally, in my town, right, in 2020, literally there was 2 people in this town that were, let's say, proud enough to put out a Trump flag or to put out a sign or something, right? This year, it was not a majority of the town, obviously, but there was certainly a shitload more people now that were somehow willing to and comfortable with putting that sign in the yard after January 6th, after the grab him by the crotch comment, after the stealing of the top secret classified documents and putting them in his bathroom, after he was found liable for rape of E. Jean Carroll and then went on to defame her twice. It was $500 million, or did. Who knows what the fuck's happening? Obviously none of that's going anywhere now. This is all after. So somehow our messaging obviously was piss poor and shit, right? That's just got to be the fact. If you cannot get this country to see that the economy is good, right? Instead of feeling like the economy is bad. This is what happened in this election. It went from facts don't care about your feelings to feelings don't care about your fucking facts. That's what happened. And because our messaging couldn't get through, whether it was because the way the media handled it, because they wanted a horse race, whether it was because creators like me and people a lot bigger on the left side, tried to mislead you and make you think that Donald Trump was, at every single point his campaign was crashing and crumbling. I mean, you've seen the thumbnails and shit, right? It gets you to a point where you start believing that there's no chance, right? And like I said at the beginning of this, right hand up, guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. But that's literally what I'm seeing, right? That's what I'm seeing. And I feel like everybody else should see that. The only problem is how you communicate that to other people and what you need to communicate. You can't raise $1 billion and somehow lose an election like this. Obviously, you're not focused on the right things. You can't tell people the economy is good if you're not really trying to get through to them on how you're lowering prices for groceries, or explain to them how you're not so much involved in telling corporations what they should charge and not charge for things, right? Or explain to them why goods have become a little bit more expensive. Explain to them that we're not getting the slave-picked cotton from the Uyghurs in China anymore, so that the shirts made with cotton gotten from other places is going to cost you more. We got to explain that to people. Right? Because when you explain to them like this, again, and I'm guilty of it too, when you keep telling them the stock market, a lot of people don't give a fuck about the stock market, really. A lot of normal day people aren't even fucking involved in the stock market. So it's hard for them to run it through their brains when they're struggling to pay for the groceries and rent and electricity and gas and fucking, all the extra things, anything else. It's hard for them to process that the economy is good, So we need to obviously get better on our messaging. And again, this is a right hand up moment for me. I think this is what a lot of channels on YouTube and in other places are failing to do for listeners, is to just put their hand up and say, listen, my bad, we failed. Messaging needs to change. Something needs to happen. We're not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to call out the bullshit, but you need to do it in a way that it spreads and you can communicate to people that aren't just always agreeing with you. Like, for example, like I haven't even gotten to my list yet, and I'm sorry. I know this is going to be a little bit of a different episode, but I think it needs to happen. I really do. So hold on. What do you got for me, Sherry? I got several theories on MSG not getting through. Point is, fuck what has been Tuesday, and let's get busy fighting every move Trump tries. That's just one aspect of it, though. You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem telling you that I will absolutely be here continuing to fight every single day, calling out his appointments, calling out the people that he wants to put in his administration, calling out the policies that he wants to put in place. That's one side of it, but you have to understand, when you say we have to forget what happened on Tuesday and keep moving forward, how many people are now affected by what happened on Tuesday? That feels just extremely rude on my part to say that forget that decision that just impacted your life for the rest of your life, not for the rest of your life, but for at least the 4 years. And depending on what policies are put in place, could be for a long time after that, right? So I can't just tell people forget what happened on Tuesday and let's move forward, because that directly affects so many people right now many women that live in red states that know their rights are going to be stripped for them even further if they haven't been already, like that type of shit. And I'm not calling you out or saying that you're wrong or anything, but again, I have a little problem with that whole, let's move forward, because it needs to be addressed. And I understand that, pointing fingers and blaming people you think is not helpful. But again, I come from a sporting background. Like, I played sports my whole life. And when we played a game, you filmed it, right? And then after the game, you would rewatch the game to call out either what you did wrong or what you did well, right? The lineman would watch what the line did. The defense would watch what the defense did. The linebackers would probably separate and watch just what the linebackers did. The quarterback would separate. Or, if you in hockey, the offense would, the power play, the penalty kill. So reviewing what happened is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I know we need to move forward, but you can only do that when you figure out how the fuck you got into this place, how you managed to get in this situation in the first place. Do you guys agree with that? Are we all on the same page that it's not, you can't just forget what the fuck happened and try to move forward without addressing what the fuck happened? I mean, I'm not assuming it was anything. I'm not assuming, that's assuming it was a legit game. And again, I have no problem. I'm not a conspiracy guy, right? You guys have watched the show for I don't know how many episodes I've done now. You know that I'm not a conspiracy guy. But if you put some evidence in front of my face, if you put an investigation by the DOJ, CIA, FBI, and in the headlines, let's go after it. But until then, it's like, we think it's fishy, but what kind of resources do we have to make it a mainstream issue? If the leadership isn't talking about it, I don't know what the fuck we can do. You know what I mean? Again, like I said, we kind of backed ourselves into a corner by defending the election processes to the death in 2020. Again, rightly so, because of the low amounts of fraud that were in the election. And when they did happen, it was on the right and, in the villages anyway. But so now we're in the position because we're Democrats and because we do things by the fucking rules and because we play by the law and all that bullshit. We need hard facts and evidence before we can charge forward on that. And if we get that, and when we get that, we will charge the fuck ahead. But unfortunately, until then, all we can kind of do is call out what was fishy, right? Without actually saying, hey, this is rigged. Hey, this is they were cheating. Let's call it out and ask if this was cheating, right? You know what I mean? Let's not fall into the same trap again as Republicans did. Let's ask the questions. Let's not say it's stated as fact, is basically what I'm saying. I have no problem with anybody asking questions about whatever you see going on that you thought was fishy. Call it out, ask questions, but again, don't state as fact until and have evidence, because that's we don't want to look like assholes. That's it. We only get the truth and we demand the truth. Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, like I said, call the stuff out, but we need our leadership. We need to be calling out our governmental leadership, our democratic leadership to speak out, because they have the power, right, in this situation. Until they launch an investigation, until they come out and say, hey, this is what we're looking at, this affected this, that's what we need. Unfortunately, it's just our hands are tied. All we can do is bring it up, bring it to light. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. So like, and again, Benny, we might go a little bit over today. I apologize, because I know I'm going to have a long monologue. And that's just how it is today. Again, it's not going to be a normal show. We're going to have to get everything out, and I want to make sure I get everything out so we don't continue and move forward in any sort of negative light, and that we are clear on what our message is and what our purpose is going forward. You know what I mean? So that type of thing. But yes, I agree. We need to demand the truth, and if there is something fishy going on, our leadership needs to come out and tell us what the fuck's going on. That way we can act accordingly. Right? That makes sense? That makes sense. Let's not fall into the trap. What else? Oh yeah, again, happy Veterans Day tomorrow. To all the veterans out there, hats off. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your sacrifices. The 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, 1918, when the armistice was signed for World War I. And what is it? Oh, happy 249th birthday to the USMC, Semper Fi. Anybody that is either retired or currently serving in the U.S. Marine Corps, or any branch of the armed services, thank you for your services. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for what you do. I have a feeling that your job may be getting a little tougher in the near future, unfortunately. But again, Liz Wheeler. No, not Liz Wheeler. That's not what I want to say. Thank you, Diane, and thank you, Tom, for becoming Patreon members. Again, a lot of people are talking about losing memberships and losing subscribers. We've been hit a little bit, but I appreciate you guys sticking around to continue this. Continue the fight. That's what it is. That's just what. Now we're just in a scrap right now. We're literally fighting for not our lives, other people's lives. We're in a fucking scrap now. So this is where we need to get down and dirty and fucking. They want to go low, we'll play in the fucking mud. They want to play in the mud, we'll start digging fucking trenches. They want to dig trenches, I swear to God, we'll burrow the fuck underground. All right, that's what's fucking gonna happen. We ain't gonna stop. This ain't gonna fucking stop. As a matter of fact, it only gets louder. That's the problem. That's where they fucked up in this situation, right? They think because they have total control now that somehow they're going to be able to silence us. Well, go fuck yourself if you think that I'm going to be quiet and this son of a bitch takes office. No, sir-ree. It ain't going to fucking happen. So just to let you know, if you want a place to be, if you want a spot where you know that there's going to be somebody fighting for not only your rights, but the rights of everybody else, and calling out the bullshit as we have been for almost 9-10 years now, this is going to be the place for you. And again, not too many channels like this have put their hand up and apologized and said that they were wrong, and kind of looked you guys in the face and said, this one's on me. The messaging was piss poor. We missed things. Again, we missed a lot of things when this fucking election even came, when this election first started, when the polling first started in this election, right? And Donald Trump was even remotely close. I forget what the numbers were when they first came out, but whenever this race started getting close between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, that's when the fucking alarm bell should have started going off, right? That's when the fucking alarm bell started going off. And all right, I'm just going to get into the shit that I wrote down. And again, this is me venting. Some of it may not make sense. You may not agree with it. You may think it's not helpful. But again, at the end, I'm going to feel better about myself having got it off my chest. So bear with me. Again, feel free to tune out if you don't agree. Feel free to put it in the chat if you don't agree. This is just my opinions. Asterisk, fucking whatever I have to put up to let you know. My opinions only. My opinions only. And I think this is just, in my opinion, the truth of what you guys need to be told. This is blunt politics. And again, I feel like I kind of fell into the trap of being on the team aspect and not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to be that guy, in the movie Bridge Too Far, where he's the one that spotted the SS division with the tanks in Arnhem when they were going in World War II, when they were going for Operation Market Garden, right? So when this guy spotted pictures of tanks in the area, he showed, the British officers, and they wanted no part of it. They wanted absolutely no part in telling everybody else because they didn't want to rock the boat. Everything was set in motion. It was one of the biggest airdrops in the entirety of the war, if not the biggest. And they didn't want to rock the boat, even though they had information that would save thousands and thousands of lives. So I kind of feel like it was that situation where you didn't want to rock the boat. You saw what was right in front of your face. And again, bear with me. I'm getting it off my chest. Again, you may not agree. You may think this is stupid, but it's my show. I apologize. So first thing that I wrote down that I feel like I should tell you. Joe Biden, right? Clearly did not do what he said he intended to do in 2020, which was he said he wanted to be a transitional president, right? He wanted to be that president to lead us into the next generation of younger Democrats, younger leadership, basically, that could take us for years down the road, right? He wanted to kind of be the one to beat Donald Trump, finally get him out of the picture, and then let somebody else take it along, right? I think this race ended when Joe Biden fell up the stairs 7 times to Air Force One. My opinion. All right. At me if you think I'm wrong. I think that this fucking race was lost the second Joe Biden fell over the fucking sandbag on the stage. And I think this race ended the second Joe Biden was unable to then get on stage and communicate what he was trying to do to then make up for it. I could think Gavin Newsom could fall going up the stairs. Gavin Newsom could fall over a fucking sand trap, but then he could get back up on the podium and speak like a normal fucking human being and kind of communicate his policies, which would thus make up for whatever the fuck just happened, right? After that moment, Joe Biden was seen as a joke, not only in this country by both parties, hence, i.e. the fucking late night shows, everybody, even from the left to the right to the center, was making Joe Biden jokes. Fucking even people that weren't involved in politics were making jokes about it, right? So around the world, it was seen as a joke. And it's unfortunate because it then put Kamala Harris in the position where they knew her campaign knew she was going to get asked about Joe Biden. She could not go against the president of the United States as the president of the United States. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. Joe Biden has been an absolutely consequential president. I respect the man, and I think he did a great job, and he's done a great deal to move this country ahead as far as economic policies if they stay in place, right? But I think he fucked us. To tell you the truth, whether it was because his health declined more rapidly than he thought it was going to, or his family thought he was going to. Whether he thought he was just still the only one on earth that could beat Donald Trump, whether it was just bravado or whatever it was, he fucked us. Basically. Think of what would have happened if we had a primary, right? And we could have had 7 to 10 young, fresh candidates up there spewing their ideas, a Gretchen Whitmer, a Gavin Newsom, a fucking a Pete Buttigieg. Who knows where we could have gone? And I understand, like I said, this is venting. I'm not saying this is going to somehow help what's going forward. Just let me get it fuck off my chest, please. Again, like I said, you disagree or agree, that's fine. Like I said, it's a one show. I'm going to get off my chest. We're going to continue this fight. So, what's the other one? Yeah. The another thing I just wrote down, these are in no particular order. These are just what I thought during the week. I know everybody had a tough week. I actually anyway, you guys don't need to know. Failure to recognize the impact of the young vote this year, right? Kamala Harris's campaign. And it's like, that's even secondary because the fact that she was put in the position to have to, and again, here's another thing that you guys probably aren't going to want to hear or aren't going to like to hear. How about just her how about the rights argument that she didn't get any votes, right? that she was just kind of put into place. Like, I think that resonated with the country. I think the country had a problem with her just kind of being, appointed somewhat to the position, even though we know that the vice president, when the president feels like he can't do his duties anymore or is unable to or incapacitated, the vice president takes it. We know that, right? But Joe Biden didn't. That's not what he said, right? He's still president of the United States. So he's not saying he can't be president. He just said he's not going to be running for president, right? So it's a weird situation that I don't think the country understood, right? Again, failure on our part to communicate what the fuck happened. And I don't think they liked it very much. I really don't. I think that resonated with the country that she was just kind of put in place. It was an undemocratic thing to do, right? And I think that was just a one point that resonated with the country that made it then. And again, these are in no particular order. Trying to get the vote of the working class, the Democrats, supposed to be the party of the working class people, right? Yet going around praising CEOs for their endorsements, praising corporations for their endorsements, using Dick Cheney as a reason why Republicans should vote, even fucking sitting down with Liz Cheney on stage, like fucking, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney can get fucked. Like, go fuck with the both of them. What the fuck are we spending time on that for? And the failure to get the young vote. I know she did that Call Me Daddy podcast, right? But I think the problem with that is a lot of the girls listening to that either were already voting for Kamala, so it really didn't do much for her, or they were just not ever going to vote for Kamala, so it didn't get her anywhere on either side, right? Her failure to do Joe Rogan, to sit there for long form and to get her ideas out and to get people to fucking see her. A lot of the times that we got to see her, that we got to see her because she had such a short campaign, a short time to do this, it was all really scripted stuff, right? Wasn't really many free-flowing, just sit-down talks with Kamala to get to know her and, what she's about. A lot of them were just a lot of scripted fucking Democratic speeches that have been gone over by 15 different people, and the words have been changed 47 different fucking times to make sure that they hit every single nationality and every person that's voting. And, you read it and proofread it and double proofread it and that shit. You know what I mean? It's not like as much as it sucks, like Donald Trump he goes out there and he talks like the asshole at the end of the bar, right? And for some reason that resonates with people, regardless of what he says. And I don't think a lot of people even see what he says. I mean, if you saw during the fucking election night when I was on with Hal, I was talking about how they were using pictures of Donald Trump from 2016 and 2015 to try to make him look good when they were putting the side-by-sides of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Like the election night 2024 shit. They were using old pictures to try to make him look weird. You know what I mean? And not to look weird, excuse me, to look younger. They were picking spots in his fucking speeches, the two spots in his speeches where he actually said things that sounded coherent, and they were playing those moments to make it seem like that was what his entirety of his speech sounded like. People saw mid-election candidate swap as undemocratic. The American people selfishly voted for themselves and what they believe what their self-interests are, right? We saw a lot of Cuban people being interviewed down in Miami that said, I don't give a fuck about those other people. As long as I have what I need, I don't give a fuck. And we learned through several stories on social media that in the immigrant community down there, in the Latino community, there's a lot of how do you play it? I don't know, like tiered system. Like Cuban people come in, they have, I forget what the policy is called, but they have a way where they can receive quicker assistance from the government, and I believe it's a little more assistance than some of the other people that come from different countries, right? So they kind of look down upon these other people that are coming into work, and a lot of people don't want their jobs. So there was a lot of things that happened that we missed in this one. There was just, like I said, the moment that this election was even, the first poll came out and it was even remotely close, we should have fucking thrown up the alarms, the flags, fucking turned on the lights. We should have done something, because this guy's an adjudicated rapist. He's a convicted felon. 34 times over. He defamed the woman he went on to fucking that he raped. It's unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable to me that somehow after all this, What's this? What are you saying? Joe Biden was a historic president. Stupidity rules reps, and when they choose to listen to nothing but Fox, they blame shit on Joe. Fuck that shit. Listen, how can you not? How the fuck can you not? I mean, are we going to sit here and say that like he's able to sit there and communicate powerfully into command the situation? I mean, the guy, like I said, he came out. All right, this is another thing. Another fucking rant here. And again, I said it before. You may not agree. It may not make sense, but this is just me venting. This is my opinions. I'll put a fucking star on it. I don't give a fuck. When we're telling the American people that Donald Trump is a fascist and the existential threat to the country is at such a height that we have to act in such a certain way, and then when one of Donald Trump's people takes a shot at him, we got fucking Kamala Harris calling him to make sure he's all right. We got fucking Joe Biden calling him to make sure he's all right. I forget? A lot of people fucking forget, but did FDR call Hitler when one of Hitler's generals tried to assassinate him? Did FDR get on the horn and say, "Hey, Hit, what's going on, brother? You okay over there? I heard a bomb went off." Yeah, one of your own tried to take you. No. He's either a fucking threat in our enemy or he's not. Stop acting like the fucking things are normal. And Chuck Schumer is sitting there at the Al Smith dinner, fucking chumming it up with Donald Trump, laughing at his fucking jokes, or anywhere near that motherfucker in any fucking setting like that. It makes us look ridiculous on one hand, telling people that he's such a threat, he's such a fascist, he's going to fucking hurt women, he's going to, LGBTQIA people are in trouble, trans people are in fucking trouble, schools are in trouble, the economy's in trouble. Ukraine's in trouble. Gaza's in trouble. But we're going to sit here and what? Joe Biden's going to call him and congratulate him on his fucking, quote, historic fucking victory. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself on that one. Joe Biden's coming out with fucking finger cannons and smiles and talking about unity, a 7-minute fucking speech on unity. That was his response to Russia fucking having bomb threats from Russia on the Poland sites. Get fucked. Get fucked. What are you guys doing? What the fuck are we doing here? What are you going to do? You can invite him into the White House and sit down and have coffee and fucking, I'm not saying don't have a peaceful transition of power, but get fucked if you're going to sit down and shake this fucking guy's hand after fucking the last 8 years of telling me he's a fucking fascist, right? Go fuck yourself. He's either a fucking threat or he's not a threat. If he's a threat, he needs to be fucking treated as such, and the steps need to be taken to fucking prevent that, right? We need to take to the streets. We need to fucking do whatever the fuck we need to do to make sure that that guy doesn't hold office. Otherwise, what we were saying was just fucking complete and utter fucking horse shit. Right? Just complete and utter fucking horse shit. Calling him to make sure he's all right. Calling him to congratulate him on his historic victory. Fuck you. Fuck you. How about that? I'm not going to call the enemy. If somebody breaks into my fucking house, he tries to fucking harm my family, I'm not going to then call the hospital after I fucking, do what I need to do to prevent him from getting in to make sure he's okay, right? I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to call and congratulate the enemy to my family if he somehow manages to use propaganda, lies, and fucking Russian influence on an election to take power. I'm not going to call and congratulate him on that one. Sorry. I'm not going to fucking call and congratulate my enemy if one of his enemies tries to take him out. Not going to happen. He's either a fucking enemy or he's not. He's either a fucking fascist that's going to fucking destroy this country, he's an existential threat to this country, or he's fucking not. Don't tell me everything's fucking normal and we're just going to fucking take one step at a time and move forward when you would just spent the last fucking, your entire campaign telling us about democracy and how democracy is on the line and it's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It is. And I'm not saying, like I said, I already prefaced this by saying that Joe Biden was a consequential president, and I do have fucking respect for what he did. I have respect for him winning the election the way he did. I have respect for the policies he put in place, for the progressive stance that he took in a more progressive stance than we ever thought that he was going to take, the policies that he was managed to pass. I will give him all the credit in the world for that. But that does not mean two things can be true at the same time. He can have done all that and still fucked us in this situation. That's just how reality is, right? That's just how fucking reality is. You can save a cat in a tree, right? And then on the way home, you can be responsible for a car accident. Doesn't mean because you saved this cat in the tree earlier in the day that you weren't responsible for the fucking car accident. Let's fucking call it as we sees it. You know what I mean? If we stop playing this whole team shit, like I said, this is how I feel. I feel like my team was in the Super Bowl, right? And I somehow, just bear with me in the story. Somehow I'm sitting in the fucking in the the parking lot. We're tailgating and shit before the game. It's fucking Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody's got their jerseys on. We're all rooting for the team, saying good things. Yeah, we're gonna kill them. We're smoking them, right? And me, somehow I just have a little bit more knowledge, right? Just, or whoever the fuck it may be, and knows that the offensive lineman is sick. One of the DN's got a fucking a sprain in his ankle or something like that. The quarterback's out, so that we really have no chance in this game to win, right? But somehow you're not going to sit there in your group of friends drinking beer, eating food, being like, yeah, we got no fucking prayer in this. We got no shot, or we should be worried about this and that and the other thing. No, you're going to be like, hey, yeah, we're going to go get them, right? So I think that's how everybody kind of got wrapped up in this, like, like even the momentum switch when Kamala took over for Joe. It was like basically that momentum switch was because it wasn't fucking, we just had a switch from Joe, right? There's not a damn one of you out there that was saying fucking, hey, calling for Kamala before that or after 2020 or anything like that. Or if we had a primary, I don't know how many of you people would think that Kamala would come out of that. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of good young Democratic people that could be in the running for that, and she would have a good chance not to come out of that being the winner. So I don't know. It's just, again, like I said, Chuck Schumer at the Al Smith Comedy Dinner, Kamala and Joe calling him back. I already said that after the historic win. Somehow the way that Fox News, right? Somehow Fox News was allowed to continue to lie about every fucking possible thing, even though they just paid $900 million in a settlement. I guess as long as they don't say it about a specific company or anything like that, they're allowed to lie just nonstop, right? They're allowed to just say whatever they fucking want nowadays. Merrick Garland's feckless ass. He can get fucked too. Merrick Garland can get fucked. Merrick, go get fucked because you're a feckless, cowardly disgrace of a fucking human being. I just want to get that out there. Had you fucking acted upon your duty and done your fucking job to begin with, we wouldn't be in this fucking situation. But because you fucking couldn't do what you know was the fucking right thing to do because you were scared of the blowback that was going to happen, we are now in this fucking position. So thank you, Merrick Garland. I just want to make sure that's put out there. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, and if you're hearing that, you're seeing all these lists here, I'll go to see if I can go to here. I already did this one. Here, here's another one. Here we go. There we go. Hold on. This is what we got. These fucking assholes. Ready? Check this out. How do you start? Nice. Okay, so right after we lose, they admit Project 2025 is the answer, but somehow, I don't know, we just having a miss on that one. We just, big swing and a miss, even though literally they're lying to our fucking faces the entire election campaign process. And now one day after being like, fuck you, we lied the entire time, you assholes. This was really what we wanted. Now you're all fucked. Awesome. That was good on that one. But yeah, you're going to hear that so many things that Donald Trump has done. He's been president-elect for 2 days, and already Qatar is kicking out Hamas leaders. Yes, that was done on the request of per Joe Biden's administration. One, Steve, they're going to talk about this big company moving its factories out of China. What they're talking about is Steve Madden, and he's moving his operations out of China and into places like Cambodia, Vietnam, Mexico, and Brazil. So how the fuck does that help the United States? The media coverage using old photos of Trump and only clips that make him sound somewhat coherent. Just, again, making this seem like this is somehow an actual race, like between two normal human beings and not one adjudicated rapist, fraudster, con man, asshole, piece of shit, scumbag, and a prosecutor AG that really wants to move this country forward. But again, I don't know. Maybe I'm just the one living on a different fucking planet. Maybe I'm just living on a different planet. Anybody that thinks that Joe Biden can make it another fucking 4 years as president of the United States, I don't know. We need to sit down and have a fucking conversation. I'm not saying he can't sit down and do like the day-to-day operations, but guess what? As president of the United States, communication is also your fucking duty. If you can't communicate to the people the policies that you put in place, it's fucking useless, right? The railway strike. The railway people went back to work, and Joe Biden behind the scenes, again, like you're kind of supposed to as a president, I get, but in today's day and age, people want to know what the fuck is going on. The media wants to know what's going on. And if you don't report it, you're not going to get credit on it, right? So then he goes behind the scenes and he works everything out, and really it's kind of just like a hush-hush thing. And nobody ever, is like, okay, few articles report it, and that's it. Nobody says anything about it after that. Instead of trying to fucking ramp that up and give him credit and make it a big fucking thing and let people know that, hey, Joe Biden's the reason that he's putting these people back to work. The CHIPS in Science Act, the PACT Act, why are we not doing more things to let the people know that this is coming directly from fucking Joe Biden's administration? This is coming from Democrats. This is the reason that you're getting this shit is from Democrats, right? Donald Trump put his fucking name on the on the fucking money that we got during the pandemic, right? He put his name on all the checks so everybody knew where the fuck it was coming from. Why didn't Joe Biden do that? Why don't we take a fucking page out of their book? Like I said, if they want to go low, let's play in the mud. Let's fucking do what they do. Let's just do it in a democratic way where we can get right the fuck back at them. You know what I mean? We can do the same thing, but instead of being bigoted and hateful, we can do it in a way where it expresses our plans for the future and what we've already done for the American people. Or, fucking go figure, maybe we could have done more to lower grocery prices. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe that should have been something that the campaign just focused on ultimately, instead of going over and above everybody's head to just say, okay, the stock market and unemployment and the usual things that we talk about, instead of talking about what people, deal with on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's frustrating. Like I said, venting. Some of it makes sense. Some of it may not make sense. But to have the president of the United States come out after what he has been calling a fascist, a wannabe dictator, somebody who wants to end democracy, has just taken power or just become president-elect, and he takes off with a fucking 7-minute speech about unity. Are you shitting me, dude? Like, it just blows my mind. It really does, how it's like everybody's all of a sudden going back to normal, turned off the switch. All of a sudden it's like, I guess he's just, we'll have to wait and see and what he does. No, are we talking about a fucking threat to our democracy? Are we talking about a fucking threat to our society? Or are we not? Because if he is, it demands the appropriate reaction. Correct? We can't let somebody like that take office. I don't know how that looks. I don't know what happens. Our leadership should tell us, and we will follow. What the fuck? I don't know. There's no uniting with these people. It's just you don't unite with Nazis. You don't unite with fucking with Jew-hating fucking scumbags. There's no uniting there. You don't fucking come together with people like that. Thank you, Stoneflower Dragon. Appreciate you very much. I really do. You don't unite with a fucking adjudicated rapist whose son wants to literally fucking rip the funding away from Ukraine to have fucking thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people die because of it. He thinks he's playing a fucking game. They think they're playing a fucking game, dude. To have the American people, all right, this is how bad our messaging is. There was a spike on election day that people asked, did Joe Biden drop out of the race? People didn't fucking know that Joe Biden had dropped out of the race in this country. Didn't fucking know it. At least enough to spike the fucking search results. How ignorant can you fucking be? How fucking ignorant can you be? And let me see if I can get this at the beginning. I don't know how you play these. Is it just you play it till the end and it just repeats on these things? Can you see it? Hold on. This is what we're dealing with, too. I just want to make sure that everybody knows. There we go. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know where it's at.
I think Matt Walsh and Steve Bannon are just reveling in victory and wiggling it in the faces of Democrats freaking out. The truth is, Agenda 47 was always Trump's plan, and Project 2025 was always independent of Trump. Trump had nothing to do with Project 2025. That was the Heritage Foundation.
Bullshit.
All of this is still true. That being said, I do not believe Donald Trump will adopt the bulk of Project 2025. Project 2025 is likely not going to be the blueprint for Donald Trump's administration or his playbook.
Hold on. Did we catch that? He's likely not to adopt the bulk. He's just going to pick certain things. Is that what we're meant to believe?
But people who worked on Project 2025 are going to be associated with the Trump administration.
Boom. All right. That's all we need to know. People that are associated with Project 2025 are definitely going to be in the Trump administration. Okay. That's what we did to our own country right there. That's what we did to our own country. And I just want to make sure that everybody sees this one too. You know, in case you thought like, oh, you're being hyperbolic, like anybody that thought this wasn't a real threat, and people, you know, you can't talk about the right like that and call them names. And okay, fucking, I raise you Nick Fuentes. How about that? I raise you one Nick fucking Fuentes. All right. And let me see here. Here we go. Here you go.
Feel when you're totally not pressed. The feel when we control your bodies.
Congratulations, America.
We control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win
Congratulations,
again.
America.
Okay. Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi. I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling. We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice.
That trolling video of Trump supporter Nick Fuentes, who was originally energized by Trump's blatant racism back in 2015.
Now, I'm sorry if you weren't pissed off before, right? And if you weren't like, if something didn't light a fire under your fucking ass to say that you need to not sit down and fucking, you know, just lay down and let people fucking roll on you or roll over you and do whatever they fucking need to do. Yeah, you gotta fucking stand up at this point and be as loud as possible, because people like that cannot be anywhere near power, right? Let me see here if I can do this one too. Here you go. Can you see this one? I know most of you have probably seen this by now, and if you're just listening, it's a tweet on the screen that says, it's from Matt Walsh, and it says, now that the election is over, I think we can finally say that, yeah, actually, Project 2025 is the agenda. LOL. Okay. All right. What else? You know, there's a few of them here. You got some from the Russian bomb threats. Let's see here. Put this everywhere. Yeah, here you go. Where's the there you go. There he is. This fucking what is this bullshit? No. There you go.
Matt Walsh, welcome back. Matt Walsh, I think, is a very smart and a funny guy. Just put up on Twitter. Now that the election is over, I think we can finally say that, yeah, actually, Project 2025 is the agenda. That's from Matt Walsh. Fabulous. I'm gonna have to, Grace, if we can grab that and put that over. Mike.
I mean, what more needs to be said? I mean, obviously we weren't wrong, right? We weren't wrong on what we were saying. It was just how we were communicating it and getting it across to people.
My mic was muted. What is up? How are we doing?
What the fuck is this?
This is the Vault Room live stream.
Shut the fuck up. How do I get out of this thing? Get me out of it. Right? So just so you guys know, I mean, obviously hyperbole is not where we're at. We weren't lying to you guys about what they want to put in place and what they want to do. So now we're going to have to sit here and suffer the ramifications of the actions. Look at, what is it? Hold on, Roxy, I saw you. Please look at AFP. What's that? What's AFP? What's AFP? I know it's a little behind. I'll wait for you to say something. Tiff, we cannot. Biden has all immunity, for fuck's sake. Let's see. MAGA's cheering the fact that we're pointing fingers at each other and infighting. Take a step back and three best, like Elizabeth says. Not infighting. It's not fighting. I mean, listen, like I said, there's reasons why why the results are like this. I mean, we can't sit here and not be like, oh, it's okay. You know, we'll just pat ourselves in the back and get them next time. That's lives are at stake here. This isn't rugby. This isn't football. You know what I mean? We have to figure out what the fuck went wrong so we can fix those problems moving forward. If you don't look back to see what the fuck happened, you can't move forward and fix the problems. You can't do it. You can't just say, oh, everything we did was perfect, but it didn't work. Obviously, what we did wasn't perfect and didn't work. You got to fix what was broken. And I think the talking about the decisions that led up to how the fuck we ran this campaign is absolutely natural and absolutely needs to happen. It's happening across the fucking place. We're not pointing fingers. We gotta figure out what the fuck went wrong so we can continue to move forward in a way where we're not making the same fucking mistakes. That's the whole point. Review the film. See what you did wrong in that play. So the next time you run that play, you don't make the same mistake, right? That's the whole point of this. That's the whole fucking point of this. Let's see here. I think there was more that I sent to myself. There's so many things. Let's go to these things. Let's go to these. All right. So in Michigan, Donald Trump, 123,887 Michigan Republicans voted for Trump, but not the Republican Senate candidate. How the fuck does that happen? Harris lost by 83,052 votes. What's the next one? You can do this. Oh, you're not even looking at it. Now you are. Let me see here. I'll do this. Yeah, all right. There you go. There you go. Let me go to the first one. Like I said, 123,887 Michigan Republicans voted for Trump, but not the Republican Senate candidate. Harris lost by 83,000 votes. Wisconsin, 53,996 Wisconsin Republicans voted for Trump, but not the Republican candidate. Harris lost by 29,417. Pennsylvania, 141,857 Pennsylvania Republicans voted for Trump, but not the Republican Senate candidate. Harris lost by 145,644. Let's just, where's this? Texas. Texas, 401,942 Texan Republicans voted for Trump, but not the Republican Senate candidate. Harris lost by 1.5 million. Harris still would have lost by a huge margin, but almost a 500,000 vote difference is definitely odd in this election. I'm just saying, these are like, what about this one too? The Russian, here we go. See, I'll go to the first one. Bomb threats sent to polling places. Can you see this one? Just want to make sure you can see it. There you go. Bomb threats sent to polling places and ballot counting locations. At least 5 battleground states across the United States Tuesday targeted mostly Democratic counties, and NBC News analysis has found the full extent of who received the bomb threats is not clear. None are believed to have deemed credible. NBC News compiled a list of 67 locations in 19 counties based on local news reports of state and local election official statements, of all of which appear to have received similar threats. Of the 67 locations, 56 were in 11 counties that voted for Joe Biden in the 2020 election, including the 8 most populated. Those high population Democratic counties include voting locations from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Detroit, Michigan, Phoenix, Arizona, Atlanta, Georgia, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The FBI said in an emailed statement Tuesday that many of the threats appear to originate from Russian email domains. Some additional threats appear to have been sent from a French service. A U.S. official briefed on the matter told NBC News anyone with unrestricted internet access can sign up for email services in other countries, making it difficult to deduce who actually sent the threats. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger has openly blamed Russia for the threats since late Tuesday morning, though it's not clear if he is referencing the ones coming through a Russian email service or has access to additional intelligence. The FBI declined to provide further comment. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which is in the lead up to the election, made a formal attributions of online propaganda campaigns to countries like Iran and Russia, declined to comment. I just don't, why are we not hearing anything? Like, how the fuck did we lose 16 million votes? That's a problem, folks, right? Anytime you lose 16 million votes in an election, I would say that something has to be reviewed, right? You want to go back and review what the fuck happened. Like, how did that happen? Like anything in NASCAR, right? If you're in a wreck, if you get in a car accident, you're probably going to go back and review the tape and say, how the fuck did I get in this car accident? What could have I done to avoid the wreck? it's natural. It's just a natural progression of how you have to move forward. And that's unfortunately our only step is to move forward, as ridiculous as it sounds, because of so many people are of how many people are going to be affected by the policies now put in place. That's the problem that we now face, right? So again, let's see here. Let's see if we can do something. Let's see here. I'm gonna put this on. Let me share this. See if we can play just. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? I wonder if I can find his actual just commercial. I think this is the whole thing, though. I don't know if I want to go through the whole thing. Let me see here. It's got to be just a clip. I just want to give you the clip. Come on. Was it this one? No, that's not it. It's April 2024. Let's see. Interview. Fucking terrorist. Three weeks ago. What? I mean, it's literally got to be the biggest thing. I don't know how the fuck. Let's just do this. Interview. Putin. Unbelievable. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to go back to the full one and see if we can catch it. Oh, there it is. Come on. Here we go. This is my reaction as well. This is
joining me now is
exact appropriate reaction.
Zelensky.
Oh, this is the whole
President
thing.
Zelensky, welcome to Meet the Press.
I'm very glad to see you. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to talk to you.
President Zelensky, let me start off by asking you, it has now been more than 600 days.
I think it's the end of it, right? Hold on.
Energy. It doesn't mean that we want to fight all our life because the price is high, like I said, because the war takes the best of.
All right, so I'm going to play this little. I'm going to play this section because I think this is
That's my
pretty
personal
appropriate.
President Zelensky,
it's not even on the
thank
screen?
you so much. Before you go, if you want to share, what keeps you going? Do you ever feel defeated?
I have a lot of power, but even feeling strong and have a lot of energy, it doesn't mean that we want to fight all our life because the price is high, like I said, because the war takes the best of us, the best heroes, the best men, women, children. That's it. But we are not ready to give our freedom to this terrorist Putin. That's it. That's why we are fighting. That's it.
President Zelensky.
I think that's a pretty clear message to Donald Trump and whoever he wants to put in his administration, thinking that they're going to, make the Ukrainian people just roll over and surrender to Vladimir Putin. It's not going to happen. That's just one of the many aspects of things we're going to have to be dealing with in the almost immediate future. And it's sad. It really is sad that, other countries cannot depend upon the United States to do the right thing, whether by ignorance and incompetence and not realizing that other people have affected our elections, or just, the scarier option that the people of this country, just don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves, which is, a scary thought where, it doesn't really matter as long as you're okay. You don't really care what happens to your neighbor. It's a shame. But we continue, like I said, we're going to be here, like I said, to call out everybody he wants to appoint, every policy he wants to fucking put in place, every step that motherfucker takes is going to be called out. Every step that our Democratic leadership take and fails to take, we're going to call them fucking out too, because that's another problem that we have on the left. We're kind of, we're hesitant to call our own out because again, like you said, it looks like it's infighting and finger pointing, when again, there's no other way to figure it out unless you start calling people out for their mistakes and for their actions and what they're saying to make them change, to enforce change. We need obviously a different way of messaging, a different way of getting through to people. It really is. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull this up. No, not that one. Yeah, here's another one. Just so you know.
Перепуганный Зеленский понесся в Будапешт на неофициальный саммит ЕС, посвященный новой реальности при Трампе. В Киеве боятся, что Трамп не только оставит Украину без поддержки, но и лишит ВСУ боевого духа. Именно поэтому сейчас все усилия украинских попрошаек сосредоточены на Европе.
Мы готовы к мирным переговорам, но только не на базе каких-то хотелок, название которых меняется, значит, от месяца к месяцу, а на базе реалий, которые складываются.
Listen to what Solyevov says, though. Listen to how clear a message he's trying to send to Ukraine, and that Trump is not going to give a shit about.
И на основе договоренностей, которые были достигнуты в Стамбуле, на базе, исходя из реалий сегодняшнего дня.
Сложившиеся реалии и начать договариваться.
Не, ребята, вы не можете понять главного. Да нам вообще плевать, что вы думаете. Нам плевать.
We can spit on what you're thinking.
Плевать на ваши планы. Нам
We can spit on your plans.
Плевать, у кого что вымаливать.
We could spit on what you're begging for.
Мы не будем с вами ни о чем договариваться.
We won't enter into any agreements with you.
Мы будем вас уничтожать.
We will destroy you. Destroy you.
Уничтожать. А с Путиным
It's useless to talk to Putin.
Языком ультиматума говорить бесполезно.
Using the language of ultimatums.
Вас мы будем.
We will be destroying you. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty clear, not only from Matt Walsh, Tim Pool, people like Steve Bannon, Solyevov here, the Russians. They are very, very happy about the outcome. The worst people on the face of the planet are the happiest people about the outcome of this election. Some of the worst people on earth are going to benefit the most from what the fuck happened in this election. And again, I urge our leadership, our the people in charge, if something fucking happened that was an effect on this election, you need to come out and tell the American people what the fuck is going on. You need to. It needs to fucking happen. Other than that, if that's not the fucking case, we need to sit down and seriously prepare a plan on how the fuck we're going to move forward, on how the fuck we're going to protect women, on how the fuck we're going to protect trans people, on how the fuck we're going to protect people in the LGBTQIA community, how we're going to protect old people in their Social Security, how we're going to protect our allies abroad. We need to really focus on who the fuck the best politicians, the best people that we have that we could put in place. They're going to fight the hardest. The Jasmine Crockett's, the Dan Goldman's, the fucking what's his name, Jared Moskowitz. There's a bunch of them in there. We need these people that understand the way to communicate in today's society, in today's day and age with social media, podcasts, that sort of shit, YouTube, that stuff. Know how to get their word out there in a way where it resonates with people. Those are the people we need to push forward. All right. I think people are done hearing this, unity bullshit. I'm not saying that, let's get ourselves right before we start focusing on other people. That's the point. That's the point. We need to stand with women. We need to stand with our allies. We need to make sure that women have safe spaces to go. We need to set up routes in transportation for women if they have issues in the state that they're in and they can't get the medical help. We need to figure out how to get them from that state to another state so they can get the medical help without fear of repercussions. We need to start focusing on how to protect people with Spanish sounding last names that just, that may be working on their asylum process, but haven't completed a certain step, or, we're leaving the house without their papers, to make sure that they have a way to make sure that they know, if they're rounded up, they can communicate with there's different ways that we have to fucking make sure that we can step ahead. And it's a dark thing to think about, that we have to sit here and figure out how to help women in different states, like they live in different countries, and we have to ship them out of there because the healthcare system in that country is poor. Like, this is happening now, today. Like, women are dying today because of this, today. And it's only going to get worse because they feel like they have the referendum now. They feel like they have total and complete power given to them by the people of this country to do and put in place the policies that they told us that they weren't going to put in place. The policies of Project 2025, Agenda 47, fucking what the Heritage Foundation wants, what all these right-wing think tanks want, what the billionaires are going to profit off of. Thank you, Brenda. If we can't prosecute him, Smith needs to release the evidence now. And that's another thing. They're already talking about putting Jack Smith in jail, and they're already talking about Merrick Garland putting him in jail. And it's like we told you this was coming, people. Unfortunately, the word did not get out. That's just the fact of the matter. The word did not get out. We need more people listening. We need people that wouldn't normally listen to stuff like this to listen to stuff like this. We need you to share this out to people you wouldn't normally share it out to. You never know. Obviously, this episode might not be the best example, but like I said, venting is a huge thing. If I don't get it out, then it's just going to be pent up. It's going to build up. I apologize for not calling these things out as I saw it as we went. But again, nobody wants to rock the boat. I thought we our best option was to stay the course, basically, even though, who's lying? For Christ's sakes, who doesn't pucker their asshole every time Joe Biden gets up to a microphone? That's not how it should be. That's just not how it should be. I love the guy. He's been consequential, but it was too long. It was far too long. We have a lot of people in there that could have stepped up and gave us a far better chance. And again, the situation that put Kamala in was an unfortunate one. Everybody thought they ran a great campaign. They put on great shows and got celebrities and stuff, but clearly it didn't resonate with the people, and it didn't turn into votes, clearly, in the way that we needed it to. You know what I mean? So let's see if I can do this. I know they're going to be gloating and shit. Let's see, get on this. I already did this. Yeah, who knows? Everybody has a lot of theories. I'm just reading the chat here. Everybody has a lot of theories. Like I said, there's a theory that the bomb threats weren't actual bomb threats, but it was just to get the people away from the software and away from the computers for enough time where they can be messed with. Here, check this out. Check this out. Let's see. Rogan, Elon. Oh, shit. Bear with me. Like, how does shit like this happen? Share this tab instead. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to this. All right. But for those of you who haven't seen this yet, tell me how this fucking happens.
It's like this weird thing. And then Trump gets way ahead, but you don't want to get too hopeful. Like, how far ahead he's ahead by 100 points. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, and you're like, what is it? And some channels are like, and then every channel's kind of different.
Yeah, they had different numbers. I was getting a different number off my Apple News update than I was getting off of CNN, and then I was texting people like Tulsi and JD Vance. I was getting a different Apparently, Elon created an app, and he knew who won 4 hours before the results. So as the results were coming in, 4 hours before they called it, Dana White told me Elon was like, "I'm leaving. It's over. Donald won." He just fucking somehow or another.
I'm gonna go back into my pod and evaporate.
Like, true or not true, I think it should be addressed, right? Like, how the fuck is that possible? Where this guy somehow created an entire app that goes over the entire election results and somehow gives them again, it's Joe Rogan. Take his words with a grain of salt. Who knows what the weed in his brain twisted those words into from what he originally heard. Who knows? But again, Doesn't seem right.
I don't know what he's getting, where he's pulling his data from, but he had like the most accurate data in terms of the rural states hadn't put their results in yet, but yet Trump was ahead in these states. Kamala's never going to win those states. So tabulated that and like put it all together. I don't know how he did it. But
yeah.
Dana, I haven't even talked to Elon about this. I don't know like the Dana translation, but Dana said he had an app and he was like showing them.
Right. So again, this is a game of telephone from Elon to Dana White to Joe Rogan. So who knows? But again, should it be looked into? I think so. Again, it's strange that we're not hearing basically anything from our Democratic leadership. And just while we're at it, no better time now than to listen to a woman's perspective. And again, I'm not going to sit up here and rant and rave and tell women how much danger and what rights have been or in danger of being stripped away from them even more, because nobody knows better than you women yourselves. So you don't need a white male telling you the position that you're in. But I will say no better time than now to listen to a woman's perspective, to make sure that we're supporting women on whatever channel it may be, whatever aspect it may be, in jobs, in media, in YouTube. So listen to Benny and Diane, check them out. And Elizabeth tonight at 7 p.m. Again, women's perspective. We need to start supporting and uplifting women in a way that we really haven't in a long time. Unfortunately, but we do. No problem, Mark. Anytime, brother. Anytime. I think it's very important. I really do. Yeah, let's see. Carol, we need to call out the cheating. Someone does. One thing is clear. Even if cheating is proven, no way in hell will Harris get in. Well, that's the thing. You know what I mean? There's two ways to look at it. You know what I mean? It's like, we call it cheating, but it's not cheating until you prove it. Again, it's theories and it's just information until you can prove it as somehow being evidence in a crime or a scheme or anything like that. You know what I mean? So we got to be careful how we walk this fine line of, again, we're looking at this, but is that exactly what happened? We don't know. You know what I mean? With the bomb threats, what actually happened and what was done behind the scenes. Obviously, I don't have the ability and the manpower and the resources to tell you what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? So until our leaders, the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, etc., come out and say, okay, this is what took place, this is what happened, and this is where we need to go from here. But you're right. I mean, I don't think anything that comes out at this point is really going to change the outcome of the election, really. You know what I mean? I don't. I think somebody would have come out at this point and said, okay, we're starting an investigation into something looking here. Let's hold tight. Things could change, so you don't just drop it on us. The closer we get to January and his inauguration, the crazier the reaction is going to be from Donald Trump and his campaign and his supporters if all of a sudden an investigation is started or something is, you know what I mean? So now is the time to do it if something was fishy. And why we've heard nothing about it and everything is just water under the bridge. And Kamala did her concession speech, and Biden came out and said, I called them to congratulate him. It's just weird to me. Every fucking part of it is weird to me. Every single fucking part of it is weird to me. It really is. So that's my feelings on it. But again, I'm here to fight. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, this community has been very, very supportive, and I appreciate you guys sticking around and not running. Everybody had, I think it's been 5 days now, so you've had time to kind of go through the emotions. I really haven't had too much time to really speak out loud, let's say, about it. You can text about it or you can think about it, but to really get it off your chest is a little more helpful. And like I said at the beginning, you're not going to agree with it. That's fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't think it was helpful, that's fine. A lot of times when I'm swearing and yelling to vent, or I've heard a lot of people nowadays give their kids like 5 seconds to swear and vent. Like the shit that they're saying isn't helpful in that moment, but it does help them like calm down. Like it helps them process. And if the end result is helping, then it doesn't really as long as you're getting there. You know what I mean? So we breathe. Now we got to figure out where to go from here. That's the problem. That's what do we do from here? You know what I mean? At some point, this is going to become real. Right now, Joe Biden's still president. Kamala's still vice president. We know what's about to come, but we're not there yet. I mean, look at this. Look at this bullshit too. Let's see if I can pull this up. Should I go to this? It's just all of it. They're just nut jobs. I mean, if you look at, you don't really have to look too far and too wide to figure out what these people are trying to do to our country. Really, I mean, Trump's retweeting racist stuff, conspiracy theories about what happened in the election. Again, without proof. Governor Newsom is trying to kill our nation's beautiful California. This is Donald Trump 2 days ago. He's been a little absent for 2 days. But there was something that oh, here you go. Here you go. Oh, this is the old one. Holy shit. That's unbelievable. He really hasn't put much up. That surprises me. That's the one of him telling the people to stay in line. Yeah, I'll go to this because I know I saw it on there anyway. Dude, I thought I sent it to myself, but apparently not. Bear with me. Bear with me. Just so we know what we're up against. I mean, you need to know what you're up against in order to formulate a plan. So here we go. Oh, shit. You think I'd be faster at typing by now? Let's see what it brings up. Does that play the video, though? How many people could be saying that? Jesus Christ. Oh, here you go. Oh, for Christ's sake.
My plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks.
Right. So basically just a plan to go after the left, right? And I saw somebody comment in here, and it's like, yeah, a lot of our creator friends have been avoiding the fact that they were 100% wrong. That we're 120% wrong, and we're extremely confident. There was many channels like this that were just kind of, and I don't know, false hoping people to death almost. It's crazy. And to not sit there and put your hand up and to breeze right past it and to start, I don't know, making videos about other shit that is kind of like on the periphery of what the hell has been going on is just a little strange to me. But yeah, I felt it necessary to put my hand up and say, listen, I was wrong. The shit that I was seeing, I should have called out for you guys, and I failed in my mission to protect the women in my family and the people I love, and no matter who they love and what goes on in their life. That was my mission, and I feel like I failed in that mission, and I will now continue to fight even longer and stronger and harder to make sure that I can protect those people as much as humanly possible in the next 4 years upcoming. Yeah, well, guess what, guys? Guess what? You're gonna be hearing a lot more of it. I know you guys are fucking sick of it, and everybody else is too. But guess what? You can't turn it off. You can't. It's fucking. We put ourselves in this position. It's unfortunate, but that's what the fuck we got to do. You got to know what the guy's saying, so we can know what to call out and know what to stop and know how to do things. It's unfortunate. I thought we would be done with it. Right hand up again. I thought we would be done with it. I thought we're nearing the end, and I thought we could one day never have to fucking cover what this guy says again. And I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'll be the first to admit it. And unfortunately, it continues. The struggle continues. The fight continues, and the way that we message to people has to change. I guess the way that we bring other people into our communities. Like, we can't be so. And I'm not saying that you guys are. Thank you, Jerry, so much. Thank you, guys. And like I said, for you guys sticking around, I know a lot of people have been crying. I know I heard some of the bigger lefty creators crying about losing a few thousand of their millions of supporters. Like, it I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure a lot of people were just done with it, right? So you can be done with it for as long as you want. I'm sure at some point the people that are done with it are going to come back. They're going to, come to their senses and come to terms with what happened. And you can't block it out. I mean, you got to live your life, and this affects your life. So at some point, you have to be involved with it if you think you're going to change it. You can't just go about your daily life and hope things change for the better. You got to be in the fight for yourself. Let's see here. Sorry, somebody was just messaging me. Thank you so much for the Venmo and the Cash App, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Being 60 with health issues, my current plan is appreciate and be grateful for now. If I'm still here after 2026, I will fight like a beast. Oh, Colleen, you are definitely going to be here. You're going to be here, and we are going to be fighting side by side still. But yeah, you fight with what you have, right? Like if you're 60 with health issues, you don't do anything to extenuate or stress yourself out even further than need be, right? Like fighting can look different for lots of people the way you do things. So like I said, sending out note cards to get people aware of what the policies are, whatever it may be. We need to get people to know what the Democrats put in place and how it helped them in their daily lives. That's what we need to get people to focus on. And we missed the boat on that one. And now what we do going forward is very much appreciated. Whoever continues to stay in the fight, regardless of what your position is, age, health issues. Again, we love you, Colleen. Thank you so much for fighting for us. Thank you so much for fighting with us. It really, really, really is appreciated. It really is. But again, I wish it wasn't something that we had to hear.
Week's bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing
deep state bureaucrats, and we're already getting into the deep state, right? He's fucking president-elect, and here we go with the deep state. Here we go. And it's like, again, I've gone over a few things, and it's like, what the fuck do I don't. It's hard to figure out what to cover. Let's see. I can go to this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a struggle now for us because I know everybody's so sick of him. Why is everything so big? Good grief. There we go. All right. So let's see if I can do watch history. I mean, they're gross all the way around. Everything you watch is just right wingers gloating. Like, what's this one? Hold on. Oh, come on, for crying out loud. Let's go to you guys. I wanna see what you guys think. Let me stop this for a sec. What do you guys think? Thank you so much. Hi, Yvonne. Yeah, I'll go back. I know it's not. We'll give you guys some time before we start going into before we start diving into his policies and stuff, right? I think it's still the wound's a little fresh. I think the wound's a little fresh for all of us right now to be putting salt in it. I won't do that to you. But again, the reactions of some of these people is very important for us to realize. We were right. They wanted to enact Project 2025, and that's what they plan to do, right? So, I mean, like I said, if you go through Fox, Newsmax, OAN, I mean, that's the stuff we cover. If I put on any of that right now, it's going to be people gloating and rubbing it in your face and telling you how, immigrants. Here, what's this one? I know I sent this to myself. I don't know why the fuck. Hold on, let me see. Ta-da. Refresh. I guess not. It's going to be on this one, though. It's going to be on this one. So let me do this. It's like everybody that I would go to put on right now has an ugly face and that nobody would want to listen to. But We literally have to listen. We literally have to listen to these people, and it's unfortunate. It truly, truly is. And I wish I could be turning this into a golf channel. Like, that would be great if we didn't have to worry about it, and Democrats actually did what they said they were intended to do and set out to do, and could have done something with $1 billion, and we could have been A-okay. It would have been fucking fantastic. Let me see a library. Oh, that's not what I watched. Okay, this is it. It's just like, you got to figure out their plans. So how do I show you what their plans are without showing you what the fuck they're talking about? Without showing you these people. It's you can't do it. You can't do it. But there's one where they're talking about. There's one where they're talking about. Here, I'll share this so you can actually see what I'm looking through, so I don't just look like an asshole here. There you go. There you go. And then I'm gonna put it in the stream like this at the stage. There you go. There you go. All right. So this is Steve Bannon's War Room. Disgusting bastard, right? So you got Jack Posobiec on installing traditional values. Rudy Giuliani, there's certainly a need for something. What I'm looking for is how they propose to, I think it's this one, first steps in mass deportation. Yep, this is what we have to know, right? So I want to know their plan on how they're gonna round up people like fucking Dwight D. Eisenhower did in Operation WB, excuse me. And we're going to just stick them on buses and ship them back to South or Central America and just dump them off, right? So how does that happen? People have been wondering the whole time. How does that happen?
Sources at the Department of Justice tell NBC News that officials see no point in continuing to pursue both of their outstanding federal criminal cases when the defendant will be...
Tulsi Gabbard, Nicole Shanahan, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a guy named Elon Musk, David Sachs, Bill Ackman. If you look at the Democrats that have come on board, and this really upsets me, they sat there and had to be Peter Baker, and Baker is the White House, he's the White House correspondent.
Yep. He's the White House correspondent. Like, listen to the names that they're saying
for
here.
The New York Times. Of course, he's going to know that. But they're too lazy and too arrogant kind of maps of New York City. We'll be getting into next week with Jackie Toberoff and others that show that Democrats and independents that lean Democrat coming our way. You sit right there and she goes, would there be any possibility of a Democrat? Well, hang on. Elon Musk is down there and he's kind of...
Sounds like he's drunk, first off.
Co-head of the transition. Tulsi Gabbard, who's part of that experience, was a very progressive Democrat and kind of became
This sounds nothing like his plan to deport people. Again, this is what happens. They point to videos online where it says, look at our plan to do mass deportation. They're like, that's the plan right there. And so you put on the video and they talk about absolutely nothing about what they're talking about.
Well, I think they realize that the era of strongly worded letters is over. And as much as we can celebrate what Jim Jordan put out, let's be very clear. The only reason that Jim Jordan is, sitting pretty and able to put out a letter saying that Jack Smith needs to preserve his documents has absolutely nothing to do with what
threats against Jack Smith. Again, how they could possibly think in what way Jack Smith broke the law. I mean, even if they think he was appointed illegally, why would that be his fault? That's the person that appointed him, right? Makes absolutely no sense. Already talking about retribution, already talking about revenge, the exact same things that we told you they were going to do, the exact same things they told you they were going to try to do when they fucking got back to power.
With what this Congress has done, it's solely because of the mandate and the victory of President Donald J. Trump. But I think when you get into the issues of personnel and staffing, I think that it's going to be another battle where the power of this audience is really going to need to be on full display and in
right. So they think the war room, if you're listening correctly, they think the war room, the audience is going to be picking and basically have a say in what administration members Donald Trump picks for his cabinet, picks for his appointments. Steve Bannon and him is going to have his finger directly on the pulse of the people who are the most sycophantic, who are going to tell Donald Trump yes at every turn, who are going to make sure they do every single thing possible not to stand in the guy's way. This is what they're talking about here. The war room audience is going to have a say, just so you know.
full force, right? It's great that we have such a big tent and there's so many people who want to join it, but just like the southern border, I think we need to have some level of vetting going on. And I think particularly you're already sort of starting to see the divergence of different camps on how they want to handle what will, I think, be essentially the first flashpoint of the Trump administration, which is, of course, the mass deportations.
All right, here we go. Here we go. How's this going to go, ladies and gentlemen? How's this going to go?
Say that because it's so crucial to the MAGA agenda, but obviously the left is mobilizing, in their own words, a militant counterinsurgency against it. And there's reporting today out of NBC News, the headline, we can toss the article up. Some Republicans try to tone down Trump's mass deportation threats. And
oh, okay. Now they want to tone it down. But now what we're going to hear from Miss Winters here is how these people that said it should be toned down are wrong, right? This is what we're going to hear, that these rhino Republicans that said his rhetoric should be turned down don't know what they're talking about. His rhetoric is totally fine, and all of these violent deportations should go ahead as scheduled, even though we have no idea how the fuck we're going to accomplish that.
And it sort of gets into this competing worldview where do we view the mass deportations as just a tool, a cudgel to remove, the gang members, the violent criminals, the people who killed Lake and Riley from this country? Or is it a broader systemic removal of sort of an invasion of people who have viewed America not as a country?
Right. So again, translation: are we just going to deport people that are here illegally and that have committed crimes, or are we going to just try to round up everybody and consider this a mass invasion? And basically anybody that's crossed that border, whether they're applied for asylum or temporary protective status or whatever it may be, you're done. You go back, right? So it doesn't matter what the fuck, even though if you try to come through legally, even if you did all the processes, even if you're about 6 months away from your 10-year fucking process of gaining citizenship in this country, doesn't matter. See you later. Take a hike.
But as an economic state entity or corporation. And I think that right there gives us, this audience, this show, to sort of stand in the breach against, for example,
this self-heating jacket will keep.
What? Mid-commercials? What in the fuck is going on here?
Keep you warm during winter. It protects against temperatures as low as -50 by combining electric heat.
You guessed it, it's Rubio and Salazar who are coming out and trying to hone in more so on the criminal angle of the mass deportations. But I think that fundamentally misconstrues how we view immigration. In other words, the national security stuff, the neighborhood and community safety is a part of the stool. It's one leg. But the bigger issue is that immigration.
But the bigger issue is the immigration. The people, all of them are icky, right? They're all icky. So we can't just get out the criminals. Even their families are icky, and everybody else that has some brown tinge on their skin or may work as a laborer in fields picking our fruits and vegetables to make sure that we have food on the tables for our families. They come here seasonally or take care of their families and send the money back. Those are the people that we have to get rid of. The hardworking people that supply. Oh shit, that's not going to work. How are we going to fill those jobs?
Immigration is something, like you've always said, it's an issue of economics and suppressing the wages of working class people. So we're not just removing criminals, we're removing a monolith, a group of people who really are the antithesis of the populist agenda that undergirds the MAGA movement. So I'm curious your thoughts on sort of how you think this audience, particularly when it comes to the mass deportation fights, can sort of be the counter resistance to the resistance, not just in the form of the shock.
No, they're trying to put more dollars. They're trying to put more dollars in Putin's pocket, right? Didn't you just hear that Putin was going to start selling more oil in U.S. dollars, right? So Trump's going to say that Russia should be allowed to continue to trade and sell oil at against sanctions, I'm sure. And they're going to put more U.S. dollars in his pockets instead of having him trade in rubles or whatever currency to the people that they're trading in. And which is less valuable, obviously.
Shock troops on the streets, but particularly sort of the embeds within the Trump administration, how we sort of give them.
Did she say shock troops on the streets? Is that what I just heard? Is that a shock troop reference? Hold on.
counter resistance to the resistance, not just in the form of the shock troops on the streets, but particularly sort of the embeds within the Trump administration, how we sort of give them, shall we say,
I'm dying to hear Bannon. Come on, shut up. I'm dying to hear Bannon.
a McCarthy-esque treatment to ensure that these mass deportations actually materialize.
That's brilliant. So let me lay it out this way. I think this is a way that it can be a construct when you think about it. As we said, we have the convergence of two kind of crises at the very beginning of Trump's second.
Look at this guy. Jesus Christ. Like, what is going on? What are we doing? Look at this man.
Term. Number one, you have the whole financial with the debt ceiling, the budget that we have to, cut I don't know. With Elon, I understand, my knowledge of what's going on.
What's he saying? What is this? What are these words? Is this supposed to be a sentence? What the fuck is going on in this sentence? What is the plan, dude?
The transition office and down in Mar-a-Lago itself is Elon's all over this, and he's really thinking through significant.
So Elon's going to be in charge of the mass deportations. Did everybody catch that? So just so you know, now Elon Musk is going to be in charge of the mass deportations.
And smart cuts on efficiencies and things like that.
So he's not talking about the deportations. He's talking about the economy. So basically the question that she just asked him about, what's going on with the mass deportations, he's totally breezing by that one and just going to talk about the economy and Elon Musk.
Budget. Then you have the tax revision. So that's that whole financial, and you got the Scott Bessents and other people working on it. The other is the mass deportations. Those will be the action plans. The other third is the deconstruction of the administrative state, which will be.
Do you see that? Did you see that? What was that? 3 words he just gave to mass deportations?
The other is the mass deportations. Those will be the action plans. The
action plans. Those will be the action plans. And then he breezes right by.
The third is
right? So they don't want to talk about it either. They know how bad this is going to be. If you hear Jesse Waters here, check this out. Let's see here. That's not it. That's not it. Where was it? There we go. Go to home, notifications. Share this tab instead. Let's see here. Jesse Waters said, like, he was basically looking forward to the fucking to the mass deportation, saying it was going to be like hilarious. Come on. Let's see here. Stock market. Somebody said something about Jesse. I hope so. Oh, here it is, right here. Here it is. Ready? Make this. How do I make this bigger? There we go.
They're going to lose the states on this, and then deportation. They're going to lose the states on this because that is a federal issue, and there will be massive clashes because you're going to have cameras out there making sure that they capture the images of ICE coming along and taking these people away, and they deserve to be taken away. Sometimes you have to do tough stuff, but
so he's talking about that, that one shot that you're going to see nightly on the nightly news, every single night, multiple times, right? Of federal agents, DEA, fucking ICE agents going into an apartment complex or a home or whatever it may be and fucking ripping the family out, watching them fucking take all their life belongings that they could possibly carry, ship them on a bus and fucking send them away. That's going to be night after fucking night is what you're going to see.
AOC is going to be there tying herself to migrants. It's going to be hysterical. But sometimes
it's going to be hysterical, Jesse says. It's going to be hysterical. With a giggle. With a giggle from who's that? Dana Perino in the back.
Dad has to do the tough thing. Doesn't make it always look great, but it's the right thing to do, and that's what we expect.
The dad in this situation. Everybody loves to call Donald Trump their daddy. These alpha males, right? Mr. Alpha Male Jesse Waters wants to call Donald Trump his daddy.
It's going to be hysterical, but sometimes Dad has to do the tough thing. Doesn't make it always look great, but it's the right thing to do, and that's what we expect.
Ridiculous, right? So I says to Jesse Waters, I hope somebody very close to Jesse is married to or is dating an immigrant he assumed was documented, only to have to cover the news story of that exact person being shipped out of the country. I'd love to see how hysterical Jesse finds that. And this is another one that I want to show you. So this is Liz Wheeler, who is, I think, Donald Trump's, I don't know, something or other. And this is her tweet. Trump is a president-elect for 2 days, and this is the stuff that they're trying to take credit for already. Stock market hits record high. Migrant caravans at our border dissolves. Hamas calls for the end to war. Bitcoin hits record high. Putin ready to end war in Ukraine. Qatar kicks out Hamas leaders. EU will buy U.S. gas, not Russian gas. So my retort to her was, I don't know if you can see that. Is that too small for you guys? Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. How's that? Too big? No, that's good. All right. So I says to Liz, I said, the stock market has been at record highs. How and why would a caravan dissolve if the same laws are still in place? Nothing has changed as far as Biden's border policies or the border patrol's policies yet. Nothing has changed so far. So why would all of a sudden these people that have come from all different regions of the world, as you say, from as far as the Congo, from down in South America, why would they, if they have made it this far, they have uprooted their entire lives, moved their whole family in some instances, traveled thousands and thousands of miles, made it this close, right? And all of a sudden, because they heard Donald Trump was going to become president, they're just going to stop. They're just going to turn back and dissolve the caravan. Makes absolutely no fucking sense. Obviously, they would try even harder to get into this country as fast as fucking possible, which is probably what's going on. And then they'll do their best to fucking avoid the deportations, right? So, and then a Bitcoin is huge in the human trafficking world. So congratulations on that one. All these fucking scumbag, shady fucking characters in the cryptocurrency world are going to be really happy about that. Qatar only agreed to remove Hamas per request from the Biden administration. We have sanctions on Russia for a goddamn reason, but go ahead and put more US dollars in Putin's pocket. Unfortunately, Zelensky, I spelled it wrong, unfortunately, because I was speaking, is forced into a position of being nice to Trump in order to continue receiving the aid, ammunition, and weaponry to protect his people and his country. Fuck Eric Adams. Mexico has already added $1.5 billion into border security during Biden's administration. China wants to work peacefully because Joe Biden has successfully gutted their economy of U.S. relations, such as the ban on slave-picked cotton with Biden's Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. Assuming the company you're talking about is Steve Madden, I'm glad you're happy he's moving out of China and into Cambodia, Vietnam, and Mexico. How does that help Americans again? Anything else I can help with, Liz? So I just, it's just important to continue to call these people out. Like I said, they're going to try to overshadow us at every turn. They're going to try to make sure that our word doesn't get out. They're going to try to make sure that their propaganda arm and people like Ben Shapiro and the Blaze and the Daily Wire and all these fucking assholes, they're gonna get lots of airtime, let's put it that way, and we're going to make sure that we have something to combat these people. We have something to call these people out, and we have a strong platform, a strong group of people on our Democratic side, on the liberal side, on the progressive side, to fight against that shit. And that can only happen if you guys hang around, if you guys stick around, if you continue to like, share, subscribe, patreon.com, become a member, channel member. Again, with people seeing lowered activity, I don't know, I'm not a huge numbers guy, but I'm sure there's been a few that said that they were done, listening to people that said that, that Donald Trump had no chance, basically. And here we are, I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. I'm a little miffed myself at some of the information that we were getting. But again, what are we going to do? We gotta make sure that we can save and help as many people as possible. We gotta make sure that, again, these people just do not have their way with the government, and that the people that are willing to speak out on the Democratic side, the people that are willing to use the certain platforms and media agencies to fight back, we got to make sure that we prop them up. Like I said, the Jared Moskovich's, Goldman's, what's her name, Jasmine Crockett. There's so many of them, AOC, whatever it may be, whoever the fuck it may be in our party that speaks up and has an impact and is young and vibrant and has some longevity in this game. That's who we need, because right now the mainstream media ain't doing it for us. It ain't doing it for us, right? It's just not. Clearly, the messaging to the people was not correct. Clearly, it did not get through in a way where it resonated with the people and turned into votes. It didn't happen. Positivity is a must, but I do not blame people for being pissed off. I do not blame you for being annoyed and aggravated. and demanding answers for things that look fishy in this election from our leadership. I do not blame you for that. There's a time and a place and a period for you guys to go through all of that, and then we got to come back together and figure out a plan. So that's what this show was. Again, I apologize if you didn't agree with some of what I said, but I think looking back and calling out the shit that got us in this position in the first place. I mean, obviously this wasn't a normal election. This wasn't a normal campaign by any stretch of the imagination from our side. It was unprecedented, the shit that happened. So we must look up to the shit that led to that unprecedented moment and why we were put in that position. So, and when a president says he's going to be a transitional president for the younger generation, and he doesn't do that, and that leads to a loss in the next election, I don't see why we can't call that out and say, listen, that was the mistake. As consequential as you've been, as helpful as you've been, as good as your economic policies have been, like I said, it's no different for me than calling out Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's foreign policy, as opposed to their at home in their policies at home. You know what I mean? No different. You can still praise them on one area while they're doing good, and if they're doing bad in other areas, we tell them they're doing bad in other areas. That's how it works. That's why you don't really love your party until you start calling it out, right? That's basically what it is. If you don't want to change, you don't want to call out your party and enact change, then at some point you truly don't care if we change. So that's where we are. Younger people, it's not the influencers who got it wrong. It was the numbers guys like Rosenthal, Eichmann, etc. All Prudential. They also got it wrong, but there was no shortage of people on YouTube and Twitch and Instagram telling you that, all was going to be fine. Sit back and relax. We got this in a landslide. It's going to be over early. No way that guy can get back in office. The American people know. Rovember, all the women votes, Latino votes, African-American votes are all going to show up because he's racist. He's a Nazi. He's a fascist. Oh, but hold on. Let me talk about something else now that I'm totally wrong. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I feel like it was my duty to put my hand up where other people wouldn't and haven't, and say, I was wrong. I apologize. I promise to do better. I promise to try to figure out the ins and outs of this position and not the power, but the ability that I have to communicate to people and figure out a better way to get people involved and let them know what they're going. There's already people. Believe me, there's already people starting to recognize that their vote may not have been beneficial to themselves. A lot of these business owners are now being interviewed and explained what tariffs actually mean, and that it's just going to be passed down to the consumer, and that we pay the tariffs and not the other country pays the tariffs. A lot of people, I think you've seen on some of the videos where there was a spike in searches for how do I change my vote in a lot of the red states. Whatever the fuck that means, I don't know. But I think people are kind of having an instant regret moment. And it's unfortunate that we have to be in this position. I'm not going anywhere. The mods are not going anywhere because they're fantastic. I appreciate you guys. Again, I'm sorry. I don't think you thought this was going to be a joyful episode. Those are to come, I promise you. But this was a necessary episode for people to express their frustrations, express their concerns, what they think may have happened, and just get them out. It's better to get things out. It really is. So I do appreciate you guys. Thank you, Tiff. Facts in your face, like led by donkeys, Musk vid did. Yeah. I mean, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? But the problem is, I don't even think in this election we led the horse to water. I think we led the horse to the desert. Unfortunately, I think the shit we were trying to suck people in, and we actually ended up pushing people away. A lot less people voted. How the fuck is that possible? Like all we fucking heard was how many people did early voting and how many people were in line and the record-breaking early votes, and somehow how many million people less voted in this election? I know Democrats got 16 million less votes. Like how the fuck? Again, I don't blame you being. I don't blame you being frustrated and having questions. I really don't. But at some point we come together, We we stand resolved, and we help the people that are most in danger. That's the most important part. Because, like I said, me as a white man in Massachusetts, I don't really have much to worry about. So, as far as people coming after me, the only reason I would have to worry is this platform I use to speak out against the government and Donald Trump. I'm sure Donald Trump was going to be more than willing to crack down on not only mainstream media, but also progressive media and liberal media and independent media and stuff like that. So we can't let it happen. We fight together. It goes on. It continues. People are going to be hurt. People are going to suffer. It's going to be unfortunate. But we're here. I mean, we got to deal with reality. That's all it is. We got to deal with reality and take it as it comes and fight our way out of this situation to make sure that we are in as best a position as possible when the midterms roll around, and damn sure in a better position than we are now when the next election comes around. I think we suffered a lot this time from the incumbent problem where, if the country sees that they perceive the country is not going in the right direction, or there's a problem with the economy, it's just they're going to vote against the party in power almost every single time, right? So that's why we have to change our messaging and how people perceive what's going on. That's the whole point. If they could be more knowledgeable about what the Biden administration has accomplished, I think that we would have done far better. Obviously, we failed in that message, and we got to do better. We just got to do better. That's all it is. So I'll let you guys go and catch your favorite football games. I know the East Coast games, you could probably about an hour left in the game, which is probably the best part of the game. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I know there's something that I probably forgot. Oh yeah, shout out to Dave, Daphne Farmer, aka. Thank you so much for your care package again, dude. That was incredibly thoughtful. The stuff in it was amazing. The drawing is fucking absolutely fire. I'm sorry it doesn't have more meaning now after the election. I would love to put that up somewhere, but I will forever keep that, and I do appreciate it to anybody that contributes to the channel, Patrick, everybody else. So let me go over and make sure that everybody gets recognized and thanked. Cecilia, let's go. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Patrick gifted 5 memberships. Dave, as I was just talking about, gifted 5 memberships. And again, thank you for that package. It was fucking fantastic. Very thoughtful of you. Very nice of you to think of me before the election. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Deanne. Thankful for this community. I really am thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for you guys listening to me and letting me get my shit out and, talking me off the ledge at some point and, just conversing with me and making sure that, everything everything gets out in the way that I want it to, and that we can, again, move forward together, even though there's no reason why we need to agree on everything. That's the whole point. And we need to make sure that we're starting to accept more people with different ideas. That way we can get more people involved in, progressing this country forward in the right way. Graham, thank you so much. Tobias with the 20. Thank you so much, Tobias. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you, Patrick. House Box 2028. Let's see here. Where'd I go? Patrick. Oh, this is Dave again. Served as an inside poll observer on election day as a Democratic rep. The first rule we learned in training: we Democrats do not, quote, challenge any voters, only there to report on GQP and length of lines. That's what I mean. Give me the evidence. I'll report the shit out of it. You know what I mean? That's the issue. We all have theories. And like I said, again, I'm sure everybody knows how it looks when we just spent the last 4 years talking about how secure our elections are. You know what I mean? So we backed ourselves into a corner. We're backed into a corner unless we have the overwhelming evidence. So you didn't fail at crushing and overwhelming, but we keep going. I understand what you're feeling, though. You always try to talk to trolls in a respectful way. You try. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate you. You failed no one. Thank you, Big Dog. I appreciate you. But I mean, it is. We're up here to get our messaging out, and if we don't get our messaging out, then we failed. That's just period, point blank. And I was doing this I am doing this for not only you guys, but for, like I said, the women in my family, my sister, anybody that's part of the trans community, the LGBTQIA community in my family, and in this chat and around the world. So that's why I do this. So if I'm not getting the message out to the proper people, then I need to find a way to do so. Deanne, thank you so much. Tina, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You did all you could, Brian. I love you. I love you guys back. I really do. But again, there's more to be done, much more to be done. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you, Jess. You're a big part of the ecosystem of the media that keeps us informed, sane, and safe. Thanks, Brian. Well, Jessica, I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. And I hope you guys stick around. I really do. Hope you guys aren't, like I said, is pissed off and is hurt and down. Like I fucking fainted Friday at work. Literally blacked out, standing up 1 second, waking up on the floor the next second. I don't know if I was dehydrated. I don't know if it was from lack of sleep or not eating or whatever the fuck it was. But like I said, next minute, 1 minute I was standing in the doorway, walking into the bathroom, and the next, my bosses and the homeowners are waking me up on the floor. I get a big bruise on my elbow where I must have fell down and hit something. My hip hurts. My back hurts because of it. The whole thing was a fucking mess. So I don't know if it was, like I said, stress or dehydration or what it was, but it was fucking weird. It was. But it was a long week. It really was a long week for everybody. A lot of emotions, a lot of things coming out. So Luis at Boston Brian, 15 million Dems didn't vote, man. We'll find out how bad this is when women start dying as hell. Said red states are fucked. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. I'm sure women all across this country right now are making plans, if they're in the financial position to do so, to get the fuck out of whatever red state they may be living in, you know? But unfortunately, lots aren't in the financial position to just up and leave and uproot their entire livelihoods because they're not going to be afforded the medical assistance they may need to save their lives in the future. Like that's happening now. People are making plans and trying to move and saying what the fuck. Countries all over the world now are see if I can pull this up before I leave. Just sorry. Let's see here, just before I leave, just to show you what Christ. No, what other countries are, how other countries are already reacting and what they're doing. Let's see. Mark Cuban had a good explanation on it. Let's see. Thread tariffs. Maybe that'll work. I spelled tariffs wrong. Let's see here. Mark Cuban. Go to this. Might take a second to find it. Bear with me. I know I'm a little over. I apologize, but I think this might be. Let's see here. If it shows wellness and does. It was a good thread. It was a long thread. He had a bunch of tweets on it. Of course, now all the fucking college sports are up. He's tweeting bullshit. Mark Cuban, you won fair and square. Congrats, Dylan. What the fuck is this guy? All of a sudden, he's just like, people are fucked. Honestly, they're fucked. People are really fucked. Well, there's an existential threat. Congratulations, by the way. That was a really good victory, you fascist. Let me shake your hand, fascist. Let's see. I might not be able to find it. Mark Cuban, let's carve it. Mark Cuban, let's save this. Actually, this is how I don't. Nope. Come on. No, it might take me too long to find. I don't want to keep you guys here too long. But basically, companies are already using money that they were going to be using for Christmas bonuses, buying new equipment, paying for their leases or rents for their properties. They're now going to buy as much stock as they possibly can now, right? And keep that in storage at the price that they're paying now because they're scared that when Trump puts his tariffs on, that where they get their materials now, they're going to start charging a lot more, which is in turn going to cost them a lot more, which is in turn going to cost us a lot more. So if they buy it at the price now and they store it, they're still going to have to charge us more money because it's now costing that company money that they paid to buy the extra stuff. Not only that, but they got to store the extra whatever they're selling. You know what I mean? So they need a place for that. They got to pay for that. So that's going to up the cost for us. So this is happening in many aspects, in many different subsets of business, basically, where people get their stuff from out of country, or the materials that the products are made of come from out of country. So it's already starting to happen where the prices are probably going to start to go up and up and up and up and up for certain things because tariffs, So, all right, let's get the fuck out of this. I'm done with him. Luis, thank you so much, my brother. Yvonne, all this is going to backfire on the Brian. The best laid plans always fail. It's a pity. A lot of people are going to have to suffer. We were up against it. Absolutely. Tony Vellis, thanks. Bri, appreciate you, dude. Thank you, Sheldon. For the 5 memberships, that's very nice of you. I appreciate it. Jenny Faye, how are you? Sexism and racism won. We have to aggressively play defense now. That's why I think Bernie can't be trusted now. Sotomayor stepping down so Biden can replace her is pivotal. Why the fuck would he say it's not sensible? Shut up, Bernie. Like I said, I've watched probably about 10% of the news and politics that I typically watch in the last 5 days. So I haven't caught all the news. So not 100% sure there, but yes, there are definitely steps that Joe Biden needs to take before the end of his presidency, before he gets out of office, to ensure, not only some of the protections in this country, definitely, but also some of the protections for weapons and ammunition and aid to Ukraine, and policies against Netanyahu, and to help the people of Gaza and the West Bank. Like I said, to reinforce as many laws as possible as we possibly can before Donald Trump takes office is the plan. And again, to use the executive power that he now holds, the immunity, and who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? The power was given to him, so use it. Use that fucking power. Use it, motherfucker. All right, thank you, Patrick. Does anybody have a problem with Brian going past 3 p.m.? Let's fucking go. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Sorry, I always go. I do apologize because I always forget about the thank yous. Like, I try to end the show at 3, but then the thank yous take me over. JD, thank you so much. I'm already losing my voice, by the way. JD, thank you again for the 10 gifted. Let's go, JD. I appreciate you so much. Benny Loco, before I even read it, thank you so much for the work you did leading up to this election. I know, obviously, clearly, the result is not what we wanted, but that is not due to a lack of you fighting and getting out there and speaking to people. There's only so much one person can do, and I think you did the maximum that one person can do. So thank you. I do appreciate you, and I absolutely will join you in not going silently into the night. So thank you very much, Benny Loco. If we had been in jail awaiting trial and not in front of a microphone for years, we would have one. Where is the Justice Department? Yes, if he had been correct. Right. So there you go with fucking Merrick Garland again, playing patty cakes. Can we please have the documents back, please? We won't do anything. No, fuck that. Sorry. Cool breeze. I am devastated, but will not stop fighting. I think that's the sentiment. I think that's the overriding sentiment of people, just devastated and confused and surprised, but, definitely not going to give up. Absolutely not going to give up, because believe me, it only gets a million times worse if we just roll over at this point. Thank you, Wes, so much for being here right off the bat. Imagine the very worst it could get. It has never been as bad as we worry it will be. Uncle Joe could have bowed up before the primaries. I mean, it just, I know we're looking back and saying, what if, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But again, woulda, coulda, shoulda could have got us in a better place. So it's you shit in one hand, wish in the other type thing. Sheldon, thank you so much. Stoneflower Dragon, thank you so much. California Mega Chuds wants to give up state sovereign rights in order to kneel to the authoritarian Reagan and roll in his grave. Absolutely. And you got states like, Missouri and what was it, Florida, that voted for the abortion memorandum, but also for Donald Trump, and in Missouri for Donald Trump and Josh Hawley, who are blatantly against the policies that you just voted for later down the ballot. Like, none of it makes any fucking sense to me. It really fucking doesn't. The one thing we know is that the pollsters have fucking absolutely no idea what's going on anymore. I mean, how many times did I read the 538 section, which is an aggregate of all the polls, where we were talking about Harris +3, Harris plus this, Harris plus that. Yeah. How about this? How about this? Yeah. Let's see here. Here you go. Where's the +3 in this? Where do we see? Where's the +3, +4, +5, +6, +7, +8? We can even go down. You want to go down to see here. Which one did I click on before? I think it was this one. Ready? We'll even go to, where are the swing states? Oh, here they are. Here's the swing states. How'd we do in the swing states, guys? How'd we do in the swing states? We do good in the swing states? Is that something? Because we spent a ton of money knocking on doors, a lot of time and energy in the swing states, a lot of resources, a lot of rallies in the swing states. Did it work out for us? Did our messaging carry there? Because it looks like Trump won them all to me. Looks like he just fucking wiped our fucking noses with votes in the swing states. But again, I don't know. Tell me if our messaging needs to change. I would assume so. But who was the last one? Let's see. Stoneflower Dragon. Oh, and your gifting memberships, you lovely individual. You. Thank you so much. Hi, Boston Brian. Can't hang today. Still processing. No worry, Dexy. Take your time, guys. Like I said, I'll be here. If you need a little bit of time off from the news, like I said, I've been watching a lot of stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with politics to kind of get your mind off it. You know what I mean? It's like when your team loses, I have trouble watching like Sports Center, or you don't want to watch it to have them go over fucking how your team got their ass kicked. You know what I mean? Hot built to be angry for more than a week. Self-preservation mode. Boston Blind, please stop feeling responsible. Colleen, well, unfortunately, I will always be feeling responsible because what I attempted to do and what I wanted to happen did not happen. Vape Doven, new in here. Send love to UA. Yep. 10 years ago, we begged for civics tests for voters. Now I don't think we know the word civics anymore. Lord save us. I think that's the fucking truth. Like, we're just getting so ignorant. Like I said before, the people searching on election day, if Joe Biden really dropped out of the race, like they literally showed up to the polls ready to vote for Joe Biden and had no fucking idea he wasn't in the race anymore. Like, that blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind that we have people that ignorant on the policies, not even the policies, just the people running in the fucking race. It's fucking unbelievable. Thank you for being here, though. I appreciate you becoming a new chatter, a new viewer at the channel. Feel free to hit that like button if you're hanging around. You like what you're seeing, you like what you're hearing. You can hit that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. On Amazon Prime. On what is it? On Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime, you can, I think, subscribe to the channel and it won't cost you anything. You can use your Prime membership to do that. We're on Instagram. We're not on Insta right now because it went down and I was in the middle of my rant and I didn't have time to I didn't have the time or the energy, the inclination to put it back up. Here we go, JD. Can Dems block the appointments procedurally? Can Dems block the procedural? We don't have, I don't know how that goes because, we don't have the Senate. It doesn't look like we're going to have the House at the moment. I haven't checked in, I think, since yesterday. But as far as I have been reading, we're not going to have the House. So I don't know. I don't know. If it's something very obvious and a person very obvious that has something very obvious in their past. But again, we had Brett Kavanaugh. So who the fuck knows? Only time will tell, JD. Only time will tell. Brenda, thank you so much. If we can't prosecute him, Smith needs to be released. He needs to release. Yes. Everything that is known. Correct, Brenda. I think that's a great point. I think that is a fantastic point. Everything we know right now needs to come out in the open. Everything. If it's just going to be thrown away and burnt and nothing's going to happen with it, now is the time to come out with it. Very fucking good point. Colleen, thank you so much again. Spent 5 hours over 2 days venting, sobbing, drunk with my little brother. No judgment. Find your person. Colleen, thank you so much. What were you drinking? Anything good? Anything good? Sally says it's good to honestly diagnose the election failure now, but during the election we shouldn't have been spewing shit about our own candidates. Learn from the GOP. Well, that's kind of what I got wrapped up into, but I think that's kind of a double-edged sword too, because you have to be able to criticize your side on things that they're doing wrong during the campaign, because that's the most critical point. You know what I mean? That's the most critical time, is during the campaign when you need to be doing things right. So that's the time to, and there's a difference in calling things out in where you're doing your rallies or where you're spending monies or what state you're in, rather than attacking somebody. So that's different. I understand that. But, we have to stay on our side to make sure they're doing the right thing, because obviously if they're left to their own devices, they have no fucking clue how to win in today's age with the media, with social media, with podcasts, with fucking, with the way that people aren't watching the news like they used to get their information. We have to adapt and overcome that too. Let's see here. High anxiety. I'm convinced Trump cheated. He literally said, I don't need any more votes. Exactly. Another great point. Another fucking great point. What just the weirdest thing you could possibly say as a candidate? No, I mean, there's no dumber thing you could possibly say as a candidate. Why? And he said it multiple times too. High anxiety, right? I know he did. He said it at multiple rallies that you don't need any. He's got all the votes he needed. Don't worry about it. All of a sudden, Elon's jumping on board. A little fishy, but again, show me something definitive. Show me something like concrete that I can go on, and I will blow this shit the fuck up. But I'm not going to be the one, saying for a fact they cheated with no evidence. I'm damn sure not going to turn into a Republican for fucking 2020. It ain't going to happen. Show me the evidence, and I'll fucking run with it as far as you can possibly can. I'm fast. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you, Jerry, so much for being here 6 months. Colleen, again, love to have you here, Colleen. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate you. If there's anything we can do, if you ever need to chat or talk or vent or whatever you need, feel free to reach out, because you're a big part of this community, and I don't want to see your health issues be, exaggerated because of stress or anything. I want to see you nice and happy and healthy and around for us to continue to be fighting in 2026 and beyond. Let's see. As Sally, Putin says the U.S., I broke it. I bought it. The MAGAs own the libs, and I own a MAGA. Wouldn't doubt it. Sounds pretty fucking spot on to me. Thank you, Carrie, for becoming a new member. Thank you, Tiffany, for becoming a member for 4 months. Yvonne, thank you so much. Best laid plans go astray, Brian. I mean, it's not from lack of trying. Like I said, you can try. You're just not going in the right direction or succeeding in what you set out to do. It's not from lack of trying on my part. It's just from lack of knowledge, I guess, on how to communicate. Because as long as I've been calling out Donald Trump, it hasn't been in this long form content in this way. So I'm still learning this whole podcast thing and how to get out the best information and how to, speak in a way, I guess, where you're not automatically turning people off that may have a different opinion, but may be open to change. You know what I mean? So, Patrick, thank you again. Stay strong, boss, and keep up the good work you're doing. Thank you, Brian and mods. You are all wicked awesome, which is absolutely the truth. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Like I said, it might have been a little bit of a downer on this one, but that's, again, we bounce back. Like I said, venting is good. Sometimes you're not in the greatest mood, and you don't have to pretend like you are. Right? Nothing pissed me off more than seeing Joe Biden in a happy, jovial mood, shooting his fucking finger cannons on the way out of his 7-minute fucking unity speech. Right? So I wasn't about to hop on here and start fucking, jumping and glad handing and telling you everything's okay and high fiving and shit like that, because that's just ridiculous. That's not what you want to see. That's not the mood you're in. That's not the vibe you want. Oh, hi, Jess. Oh, was that you? I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll read it, Jess. Where are you? I sent you a text. You did not feel as you did the best you could. Let me see. I'm sorry. I missed it. Oh, there you are. Brian, I'm so sorry I'm not alive and staying away from the news right now. It's been a week from hell. I work and have family of Trumpers, and I have had my fill. Totally understandable. Oop, hold on, Benny Loco. I see you there. Don't move. And I have deleted all my social media. I need to protect my peace. Love you and Mel, but right now it's what I feel I need to do. You did not fail us. You did everything possible. Wow. Well, I appreciate you, Jess. I do. Christ almighty. Benny Loco, thank you so much. What'd you say? Hold on. Oh, man, I lost it again. I lost yeah, in more than one way. Enjoy the day. Thank you so much. And you too, Jess. Tell Danny I said hello and Tegan, and I apologize. But yeah, go kick ass the rest of the day. Spend the rest of the weekend and your holiday with, at least some hope in your hearts that we have, put our foot down in a way where now we can get into the throats of the subject, let me say, in the nicest way possible. And now we can just literally, the gloves are off. We are getting down and dirty, and we're going to fucking fight every single day until this country sees one way or the other what they have done and the chaos they have caused and the hurt they have potentially put families under, in the deaths of the women that now will not get the treatment they so deserve for a healthy life and, to be considered equals in this country like men are. Thank you, Colleen. Again, being empathetic. It hurts. I know. It sucks. I've always been an easy target as far as sad stuff. Hugely emotional, so it doesn't take much. Which, whatever. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. You make fun of me if you want, but that's me. I'll let you guys go. I love you guys. I do appreciate it. I really, really do. Make sure you subscribe and make sure if you can, become a channel member, and let's make sure that, think how nice it would be for us to continue to grow even under the thumb of these assholes, right? If they can see like, oh man, we're not actually oppressing these people. We're not actually making it so their channels aren't growing anymore. If we could actually grow and become the biggest force in media, not so much this channel together, but just, all progressive, liberal. There's not that many of us. There really isn't on YouTube. There's not that many of us, believe it or not. And I know I'm just a small fish in a really large ocean, so I'm not speaking like I'm on the level of anybody, all these other people, but there's not many of us out here doing this type of stuff. So to continue supporting people like me is hugely appreciated. Yeah, but the problem is, Patrick, thank you. Patrick says, congrats on 8,000 subs. The problem is I was up to 8,200. And I think I'm right at the 8,000 mark again, but that's all right. Like I said, bots be gone. Anybody, like I said, that has kind of erased their socials. What's up, boy? Hey, what's up, buddy? Let me get you. Hold on, there you are. Like Jess, I know a lot of people have thought about doing that, and if that's what you need to do to stay safe and keep your mind right and protect your mental health, and whatever, anything you need to do. And if you feel there's a day where you're ready to come back and join the lives and chat, then we'll be right here for you. And again, my phone's always open, so let me know. I love you guys. I do appreciate you guys. I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Ain't going fucking nowhere until they drag me the fuck out. So please keep fighting. Till the next time, I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I appreciate you guys.